we wade into the weirdest and wildest waters of the comic books of the 1970s. This season on BAM, we're covering the brief life of Atlas Seaboard Comics, the publishing venture of Martin Goodman that some say was a middle finger to Marvel and Stan Lee. Revenge is a dish best served in 4 colors. I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, everybody. I'm still getting over oral surgery, so I might be a little mush-mouthed this week, but the good news is we have a guest. So
that's right. It always makes things easier. I think you sound fine. I was expecting Sloth from the Goonies level of incoherence.
So until yesterday, I had a plastic stent up in the roof of my mouth. I was talking like this for the last 4 days. So Oof. Yeah, I kind of sounded like Jimmy Pesto Jr. or something. Nobody really would have wanted to listen to. No. And I toyed with some ideas, like, would it be funny to have like my daughter Athena just be me and have Jacob not acknowledge that I'm different anyway, and just do the entire 90-minute show with Athena being me? It
would have been a solid bit.
It would have been a solid Andy Kaufman level type of bit, I think. I don't know if people would have thought it was funny or not, but I didn't want to put her through all that prep and all that work. So I took my thing on my roof of my mouth, and now I'm here with just stitches in my gums. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that still painful? I know it was like a week ago. It was less than a week ago.
It was Wednesday. It was 5 days ago.
Okay. Jeez.
The things I do for Bronze Age comics.
Yeah, the things you do. Wow. Well, you couldn't miss our 200th show.
Thank you for pointing out. Yes, this is our 200th episode, which is kind of a big deal if you're a person that keeps, count of stuff. And so we've been going strong. It's been a good time. In true me fashion, I didn't think of like soliciting anybody to email us any well wishes or any type of stuff that would have made this special. So we just have a guest, but he's a good guest.
He's a good guest, and he kind of went out of his way to make it special.
I did say, remember, this is our 200th episode. We don't have like anything big planned, but if you could kind of zhuzh it up a bit, I'd appreciate it. Should we just bring him in?
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, so it's our friend Jared Savitas. He's Jared. He's from the Swords and Scrolls podcast. You probably heard him mentioned several times in the shoutouts. Hey, Jared.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great. Thank you so much for making this extra special with your get-up.
Of course, my pleasure. I couldn't live up to the, example you set I should go for, but I did what I could.
Yeah. I think I requested Rip Taylor confetti, Rip Taylor on 8 pounds of cocaine level of energy. But you are, if the people are just listening, can you describe your outfit? Because it's a marvel.
Yes. I'm wearing a tuxedo shirt with a bow tie, and I'm wearing a jacket that is actually like from a high school here in Omaha. I don't know what high school it's from, but it's like a band leader jacket. So it's like red with white accents and some tassel work and a big old steer on the back. And then I'm wearing a fez that I found at some thrift shop at some point.
Do we know what the fez is?
Yeah. It says AHIPA, and it says past president. So whoever president wore this hat, man.
We don't know who the AHIPAs are.
No, I haven't looked it up. Maybe we shouldn't.
Okay. No, we shouldn't.
You're right. Let's not go.
Let's just move on.
But it's giving vibes of like Elks or something like a benevolent association of something, right? Yeah. So
except now, Jared, I have a fez. I mean, I have a normal, Shriners style fez, but mine does not have that foot and a half long tassel.
It's an intense tassel.
It's a really intense tassel. I mean, I'm very jealous. I wish mine had a tassel. I'm gonna get my wife to sew one on after this.
It's blue and white like a cougar's hair. When she's trying to feel connected to her high school daughter. And it used to be braided, but the braid fell out at some point, and then now it's just kind of a nightmare and catches on your beard and stuff. So
what's on the back of that jacket?
Yeah.
Can you just remind me?
The steer. That's what he's saying.
basically, you look like if Lynch had cast Pee Wee Herman in the lead of Wild at Heart. Like, this jacket's an expression of my personal freedom.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
So, if you're making out your will,
You want the jacket? It
Yeah.
comes with pants. They're red and they have a postal stripe, double stripe,
Good
white stripe
God.
down the legs. I don't know if I can fit in them anymore.
the raleigh
if
stripe's
I
a good
can-
touch, I feel.
Yeah.
If I can, this is what I'm wearing. for
Okay,
Halloween or whatnot.
Jared, dibs on the hat then.
Okay, brother.
Yeah.
Great. I hope nothing happens to you, but we must plan for the future.
We always
That's all right.
plan our guest's death immediately before we start recording. It's good luck.
All right. So when we decided we were doing Atlas Seaboard for our big finale season, I feel like you were one of the early ones who jumped out and said, I'm doing Wulf the Barbarian.
Yes,
Not an option. You told me. You told us.
It wasn't an option.
I did. I did. And it was because what's funny is, so I'd seen Wulf in the back issue bins, but never ever looked at it. And I think, Matt, you must have been starting to brew on this season because you messaged me and you were like, do you know Wulf? And I was like, what? Wulf? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, I know that cover. And so then I immediately went and bought a lot of it, so I was like, well, I'm going to get it. If I'm doing this show, maybe I'll do it. And I've just been sitting on it. And yeah, man. So when you did say you were going to do Alice, I was like, well, then I want to do Wulf.
That's fair.
It is.
Yeah. So if the people haven't heard your previous appearances, you want to tell them a bit about Swords and Scrolls?
For sure. Swords and Scrolls is a podcast I do where I have a different guest on every episode, and we talk about comic books and cartoons and other things in the genre of heroic fantasy, sword and sorcery, epic fantasy, that kind of stuff. And you guys kind of inspired me to do it. I do have a couple other podcast friends who have a comic book show, and I would do a segment for them. And I don't know, man. I someone's got to talk about these books, and I'm happy to do it. I don't know.
You're doing Crum's work, my friend.
I guess so.
Between you and like Matt Harvey last episode and some other folks, Jacob, I feel like we're almost like the Velvet Underground. Like they only sold 1,000 copies of that first record, but everybody that bought a copy started a band.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so am I.
We got 100 views, but all 100 of those became podcasts.
Yeah.
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 Matt's podcast is pretty fun, man. I listened to that today.
Yeah.
Right?
It's good,
I did
huh?
too.
It's good. The production value is very high on it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about My Favorite Nightmare, folks. If you didn't listen to the last episode with Matt Harvey from Exhumed and Decapitator and Cold Slither, please go check it out. We talked about Weird Suspense featuring the Tarantula. It was super fun, but he just launched, like last week, his own podcast where he's doing dramatizations of Skywald stories from their magazines, horror stories, and he's doing original music, voice acting with friends, super stuff. The first episode just came out. I think he's doing YouTube versions as well with the art included, kind of like we do here. But yeah, and yeah, good luck to him. I hope everyone listens to it. It's super awesome. And yeah, good luck with the YouTube end of things. I'm still trying to drag people kicking and screaming into looking at art that we talk about instead of just listening. But Jared,
Right.
you work for the USPS. You listen to a lot of audio. That's how you choose to take
Yes.
in stuff. So people listen to our show way more than they watch it, but that's okay. I'm still going to keep doing the work and putting my head down and putting this art out there into the world because this channel will exist long after the show's done. And maybe that stuff will get pulled down from different places and this will be the only place it'll be available. Who knows? But I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work. So if you're just listening, we are showing this on our YouTube channel, Bronze Age Monsters, all the art, and you can see Jared's amazing outfit. But yeah, I feel like when we had you on before, we were talking about something kind of sword and sorcery, mummy.
We talked the Living Mummy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they introduced the elementals, or they're called, and we kind of got your origin story, like your interest in sword and sorcery stuff. So I think that, of course, that was several seasons ago. If you want to do a quick recap, you're welcome to. But just like why you do swords and scrolls, or why this stuff speaks to you.
I've just always loved adventure stories, and my earliest exposure to them were things like Sinbad, King Kong, and so Tarzan. So pulpy adventure style is my jam, and it just kind of led into sword and sorcery stuff. With this, I really took to Sinbad and like the fantasy aspect and myths and stuff like that, and so that's where I go for my high, And so comic books like Conan the Barbarian and black and white magazines, Savage Tales, and all that stuff is just awesome. Glorious old stuff. So that's that. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. What have been your again, like you did like a 10-minute thing on the first time you're on. So, I mean,
sure. Yeah. No one needs to hear it again.
Most people listen to everything we do. So, I mean, if you listen to us, you're fully on board. What have been we're asking everybody that's been on here this season, what are your thoughts so far about the Atlas Seaboard output?
Okay. I think it's been incredibly interesting and entertaining because of the wild story of what Atlas went through as they put their books out, and how they changed, and then it was like one guy's writing them at all, and then he's gone, so then it goes to this guy, and that guy writes them all, and it's just been wild. And I've found stuff to enjoy in all of the books. I didn't think I would like police procedural book as much as I did. Like that, for some reason, that police action I was like really taken with it.
It's because it's good. It's a great book.
It's a great fucking book.
Yeah.
It's a great book. But I also thought the Brute smashing people against surfaces was one of the best things I read in a while. I was like, this is hilarious.
Those people were children, Jared.
Yes.
Yeah. And he did it like 3 times in the first book. I was like, that's his move.
Yeah.
It's the best. And, so there's been things like that. And then you get to thrilling adventure stories that Black and White Magazine and Devilina, and it's like, oh, now I'm doing meth, and I'll just lay here with these on my chest as I drift away. Those are amazing. But I have to tell you, when I found out your lineup for the Shadow Show, that's when I felt really spoken to, right? Because you guys, Weird World, Monarch, Caleb Hammer, finally you were doing books that I owned already, that I had. Like everything else, I went along with you and found what I could and stuff like that. But like, that was the first time I was like, now if all they do is if they talk about, Carson of Venus or something, then these guys are hitting it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when that's where I think the magic has been for me. Beyond those Black and White magazines of Atlas, the Shadow Show is kicking it this season, whatever it is.
Thank you. And another unrequested plug for the Shadow Show from a guest at the beginning of the top of the show. So nice.
Yep, 3 guests in a row.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're just listening to Jared, folks, you don't normally listen to us. Patreon backers get, we publish this show every other week. And on those off weeks, Patreon backers get the Shadow Show. And that's an additional show like this, a little bit shorter, where we're just kind of covering the stuff that if we were immortal, we would probably have done a season covering Deathlock or a season covering this or that or the other. So we're just jumping around and just kind of checking out Bronze Age stuff that we just don't have the time to do in full with our time remaining. Doing the show together. So yeah, we've heard a lot of good feedback about this season, and I'm glad you're digging it. I'm loving just jumping around, just kind of, I feel like I'm at a buffet, just kind of just grabbing, that looks nice, that looks good, and just nibbling and just trying stuff out. It's been super fun. I'm going to mention this at the end, but I don't know if you're a fan, Jacob or Jared, but on the season earlier, we did Hellrider. We're doing it in 3 parts. We did the first one, Hellrider, the title character, and our next one coming up is the Butterfly, a character that was briefly mentioned in the story we covered as a singer in Vegas who accidentally got a boots full of heroin. And so we're going to meet her on the next Shadow Show, and I'm so excited. I can't believe how much I liked Hellrider. It was great.
Well, it's a shared universe. That's what. That's what's so cool about the magazine is that all 3 stories are very different, but they're all in the same universe. So it's it's just one of those cool things. Atlas just every once in a while they do something really cool and innovative, and that's one of them.
Skywald.
Oh yeah, sorry, Skywald. Yes.
Yeah, and I wish they'd done more straight magazines. Not. I love their horror output, but I would have loved a little more. I mean, 2 issues is all we got, but that's okay.
I know.
But yeah, I can't wait to check her out on the next Shadow Show. But are you ready to talk about Wulf the Barbarian?
I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
Okay, let me pull this up here. I've got a show for you.
Oh boy.
All right, so we're looking at Wulf the Barbarian, the cover. This was pencils by Larry Hama, and they're not quite sure who did the inks on this. It could be Klaus Janson, it could be Dick Giordano. They're not 100% sure. But this hit the stands on November 19th of 1974. Had a pull date of February of 75. And man, if you're just listening, these are all available on archive.org. Please go check them out. We have this cover with our titular hero. He's blonde. He's got a red cape on. He's got chainmail. And he's holding a shield and a sword. And he's crouching on the chest of a fallen troll. And behind him, there's a blazing sun or the light from a corona from a torch as a female is holding a torch up over her head. And there's this nice framing device that goes up diagonally across the top and down the sides of these columns where it's just all shadow and just light detail showing the brickwork. And then just a nice little touch from Hama for no reason. Screaming faces or singing faces are added to the columns just as a cool detail that does not need to be there. And so this, to me, this is one of those ones, I say this a lot, the ones when you say Atlas, I picture like 5 different covers that I just saw in back issue bins over the years. This is definitely one of them. It's got a screaming yellow with red drop shadow logo, Wulf, and then just red, the Barbarian beneath it. Can't say enough good stuff about this. I absolutely love it. The blue background, the corona from the torch or the sun are both behind him. And the layout here, where we're behind these arches, looking through this violent scene, great stuff. Jared, what do you think of this cover?
I think it's beautiful. I also like the archway. You said, like you said, it is is so great. And I love that it's far off from. It looks like the city proper, right? Is kind of in the background there. So it makes me feel like there's these outer ruins outside. And I think that just that setting is really rad. And the detail that I really enjoy is that they only used Zipatone on Wulf. Everything else is inked straight. But they use Zipatone on Wulf just for his shadowing and on his armor. And I think, I don't know what it is about that, but I'm just like, that little detail to me, I'm just like, that's so cool.
I did not notice the Zipatone on his chainmail. That is rad.
And inside of his cloak.
Oh, and the sheds on his thighs too.
And the shield.
But it's only on him.
Wow.
It could be all over the place, but it's just on him. And man, it's great. And the yellowish hue that is added on the archway where the torchlight is going, it's just, man, I don't know. It's great. It's a great cover.
Yeah, I got to agree. I mean, aside from everything that you guys said, well, for me, it's the angle. Like the angle that we're looking up at that gate, at that entrance is just so cool. It's such a cool perspective that we're getting here. And Matt, you and I have talked about this all season. The few covers that we get, Grim Ghost, Ironjaw, where there's nothing else but just the title.
Yep.
There's no spectacular first issue, no reprints, any of that. Yep. And that's when the cover art shines.
Yeah. And this was part of Rovin's, again, this hit the stands in November of 74. So this was that first push. And that was Rovin's thing, was like, we just want clean, bold covers. And God, they all work. on the early line, the first
Yeah,
wave.
they're gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, Jacob, I'm with you. The perspective that Palma has put us here, like where you're almost like down on the ground, like knocked on your ass, looking up at this scene, really striking and just draws your eye in immediately. It's exciting visually. Right on. Okay, should we dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. So, okay, we don't have a title yet. It just says Wulf the Barbarian, but we do have some creator credits. So our cast of creators, we have writer and artist Larry Hama, inker Klaus Janson, letterer Kathy Ann Thomas, editor Jeff Roven. When did we last see Larry Hama? Planet of Vampires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about him, but I'll do a little overview specifically with this. There's some stories about him in the issue of Comic Book Artist that is devoted to Atlas Seaboard. So I thought this was cool. So Larry was, I'll get to, yeah. So he was first published at 16 in this like fantasy film magazine. It was called Castle of Frankenstein, and that's in 66. But his first confirmed major comic credit was in 1973 for Red Circle Comics in Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, where he co-wrote a 6-page story with Gray Morrow. I have that issue.
Oh, I have that issue too.
Yeah, thanks to Jackson T. Overstreet.
Jackson T. Overstreet.
Yes. So the first story in here is Two Thieves of Baghdad, and it's an amazing story. Gray Morrow, his art is incredible. And yeah, Hama is the co-writer on that story. So I thought that was great.
What year was that?
So 73.
So he's young still.
Oh yeah. No, he's pretty young. I mean, he served 2 tours in Vietnam. He was an explosives expert. And when he got back from there, he kind of signed on with Wally Wood's studio. He assisted Wood on some comic strips, one called Sally Forth and Cannon. And these were for the military. It was for a military magazine called Overseas Weekly. Both of these strips are pretty spicy with lots of violence and
so good.
Tons of nudity. Tons. And so, check them out online. You'll see what I mean. They're both awesome, by the way.
Yeah, there's a beautiful hardcover collection of Canon, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you like boobs and dudes being badass dudes doing spy war stuff, I can't recommend it enough. I've never read Sally Forth, though.
Yeah, it looked it looked a little different, but also, kind of similar. But you can check all those out online. But yeah, Matt, that hardcover collection, I've seen it, and it looks really, really amazing. So after that, he went to work with Neil Adams over at Continuity Studios. He became one of the Krusty Bunkers. Nice. So from there, so he started working at Marvel. Most people know him, his early work from Marvel. He was on Iron Fist just for 3 issues. Before and right after that, he jumped to Atlas Seaboard, where he'd write Planet of Vampires and Wulf the Barbarian. So I like that Hama kind of described his start at Atlas Seaboard like this. He says, so I was sort of unhappy at Marvel and was bringing in some pages to Marvel, and Howard Chaykin was standing outside of Marvel's door downstairs on Madison Avenue, directing artists as they came into the door to go across the street over to Atlas Seaboard office. He'd say, look, why don't you go across the street? They'll double your rate. And we'd say, what, you're kidding? And he'd say, no, they'll double your rate. So I love that. We talked about that during the Scorpion episode with Brad Elmore. But yeah, I love that Hama was one of those guys that Chaykin's basically wearing a sandwich board that says, this way for double page rate. And I was like, really cool. I'm going to do that.
I love that literally happened. Like, that seemed like something people would say in an interview. It's like, metaphorically he was standing outside. No, he literally stood outside and said, go across the street.
Go across the street.
So funny.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. There's a really, really cool interview. It's very long with Larry Hama in the Comic Book Artist issue that we reference a lot. And, I've read a few interviews with him over the years and like the Tomorrow's publications and stuff. Man, he just sounds like the nicest, most positive guy. Like, so many of these guys are just, and rightfully so, they got screwed. They got kind of used. So many of them are jaded and pissed off. And Larry Hama, his outlook on life is just positive and great. And he just wants to be with his friends and have fun. And he feels very lucky to do all this stuff. Like, just sounds like a super amazing guy, and he's kind of an Archie Goodwin, and where like I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him.
Yep.
Everyone is just like, yeah, we love this guy. So he talked about, weirdly enough, he talked about this book, about Wulf the Barbarian. He said Wulf got a lot of weird hate mail, which I thought was interesting. He said people like certain things in their Barbarian comics, and I wasn't delivering it. But I like this little insight he gave. He said that's to be expected. It's also, I think, that people that write letters to comics don't necessarily voice the opinions of the majority of the people who read them. So I was like, yep, yeah, that sounds about right. So in this article, it's very cool. Lots of cool stuff. There's some photos from continuity that's like it shows Terry Austin posing as Wulf. I think Pat Broderick is Stavro. And yeah, it's super, super cool. Shows some of the unedited art. We'll learn later, that some of issue 2, I think the cover was changed, right? They added something in the back in the cover that's ridiculous.
Awful.
Yeah. And so it has the unadulterated art for Wulf on issue 2. And just really, really cool. It was a great, great article. You read it, Matt. I mean, it was great, right?
No, it's great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and Comic Book Artist 16, everyone should buy that digitally and read it.
Yeah, you can
this season.
Yeah, you can buy it digitally, $5 on tomorrow's site. And they got hit pretty hard, like everybody did with the Diamond bankruptcy. So they've been having fire sales, just like Fantagraphics and stuff. And so we've John Morrow and his publishing company has put out incredible stuff over the years. So all you can do to support them, I highly encourage it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you want to talk about this opening page?
Yeah. Do you think before I forget, do you think that the reaction, the hate mail that they got was that, and Jared can speak to this, the expectations or standard for a barbarian being a little more lusty or lascivious or whatever, and here we meet this character. You're going to describe this page, but he's clearly like, no thanks, ladies. I've got training to do.
So you think it was just the visceral reaction of the fanboys being like, fuck this? Why is he attacking them?
Why, how is he not grabbing 2 women at once with flagons of mead in each hand? Like, this is not a barbarian. That's my guess. I mean, I don't know.
Probably.
He's got revenge.
Right.
It's a revenge tale.
He's
man.
focused. Like he doesn't, he needs to train.
He's not a prude. He's focused. I love
No, he is. He's very focused.
He's not a prude.
No, I don't know. But you're right. I mean, Wulf isn't, I don't know. I really loved Hama's take on the barbarian, as we'll see as we go on. But yeah, Wulf as a character is just, he's super badass and very, very cool. So the opening narration reads, says, the city of Azerbaijan, is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. We'll run into it a bunch. On a nameless world in a forgotten time, the blind bards say all lost souls must eventually find their way to its dusty streets. Azerbaijan, the crossroads of despair, the bazaar of the misbegotten. It is here that we find a lost soul named Wulf the Barbarian. A great logo, by the way. I love the font. I really, really love this logo. I forgot to say that on the cover page.
It's fire.
Yeah, it's so good.
Agree.
Yeah. So, but you're right. Like you were saying, Wulf is greeted by 3 comely lasses. And, I love that. They're just like, oh, Wulf, what brings you to the street of the Dark Angel? And mayhap he seek exotic pleasures. But then the lady on the ground says, nay, he prefers the company of that old cripple, Stavro the juggler. He's at the West Wall, boy, plying his trade. And yeah, in the back, we see Stavro. So everything's here in this first page. We see Stavro. We see the portly merchant that we'll run into later. But I thought this was an incredible opening page. I mean, Hama, just the composition, everything about it, it just drew me right in. Like I was immediately in the world. So I was a huge fan of this opening page.
I agree with you there, man. Like, it is a great setting. And it, yeah, just to go back to where you said, he got hate mail on this, and you commented that maybe he's not your typical barbarian. And I would agree with that. But, I read that article too. And when Hama talks about his design and thought of this world and the character, it works. And he did it. But it's not what people expect from a barbarian book of that time, of the 70s. So I can see where they're like, this ain't a barbarian. But he's from the North. So people call people from the North barbarians in fantasy settings, right? So that's why he gets the title barbarian. I don't
and
see
in
him
our
as a
history,
barbarian.
right? I mean, that's where that came from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah. And so he's a warrior straight.
Mm-hmm.
Wulf the warrior. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go with something like that, because of how much Larry Hama loves to use, for names.
Yeah, but it's not
the same
Marvel
letter
enough.
Multiple times, right? to name a guy.
Need to make it Marvel.
Wulf the warrior falls in line with that. But I wonder if it was, because if this is Atlas going, we're going to take down Marvel's barbarian book, we got to call it Barbarian.
Yeah.
We have to put Barbarian on it.
Pretty sure that was it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was Wulf the Warrior when the script came across the desk and then Goodman pushed it back and said, how about Wulf the Barbarian?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, Jacob. There's so much work done on this single page. You know so much about this character, about this setting, everything just instantly, right? Like just the single shot. We know this dude's driven. He's not up for frivolity. He's not here to play. He's here for business. And I love that framing device of like the arch again. Like you see him and the working gals. And then like through that portal, you see like this little, like almost like cameo of the city and the world inside. And like, it's just masterfully done. His storytelling in this issue blew me away. How clean and efficient, and how he loads things with so much import. I was super impressed with the storytelling in this whole thing. Gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, and I should just for those just listening, like Wulf is for a barbarian, he's lean, he's lithe, he's not muscle bound,
Yeah.
He's so it's a different take when you use that word barbarian. It is pretty loaded, and it doesn't, you're right, Jared, it does not really describe who Wulf is in any way.
His physicality.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, okay, I do love I wish we knew who the colorist was, because I do love how they colored the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's yellow with some sunsetty streaks going on. But my favorite thing is, not only can you come right here to the Street of the Dark Angel and get yourself a lady, hey, there's a crone peddling some fruit.
Fresh fruit.
So let's, get one for you and one for the lady. And then I love the piss trough going down the street too. That's really gross. And the food is a little too close to that crone.
Right.
But
yeah, well, she's not happy about where she's selling. She wishes she had better real estate because, she's not looking great. But that fruit looks good.
She's not even in the city walls. Yeah, masterful stuff here. I was interested about. I mean, obviously, it feels like Hama just pulled like Azerbaijan out of Azerbaijan. Just kind of that's an exotic sounding name. I'll just switch a couple letters, drop one, boom, we got a place. But they make a point of saying it's on another, and some promotional copy and other issues we've read, when they were talking about Wulf, they said like almost like the same type of copy for like Dune, like Lynch's Dune, where it's like in a world, like a beyond your imagining, and blah, 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 like, and scope and size you can't possibly conceive of. So like, they're saying this isn't Earth, this isn't some, the way Conan is kind of Earth, or, there's Atlantis, so it's definitely our world. This is a different world entirely. Is that super common in your experience, Jared?
What, that there's like a...
Like it's not even Earth,
like
it's
the
not
world
even early
building?
Earth, it's not even alternate Earth, it's just a totally different planet?
Yeah, well, with with modern fantasy anyways, you're gonna get a lot of realms and stuff like that, and it just kind of blurs. So but in like the 70s stuff, you had writers that were, all trying to cash in on the fantasy boom of paperbacks and things like that, and then it jumped into comics, and so everybody's trying to come up with their own thing. You know what I mean? Like and it's not Earth. It's sometimes they're like, this is way in the future, or this is another dimension or whatever. You run into all sorts. So
gotcha.
I love that, but as you were saying, the scope of it, as we go through the story, it does open up vastly. And so, Hama wasn't screwing around.
He was not. Okay, ready?
You bet.
Cool. Okay, so we get to see some more of this. We have this beautiful kind of monochromatic panel of Wulf like marching through the streets. It's all in golds and oranges. And he's like, tell me, good bailiff, what is it that has 3 eyes and hobbles around on 5 legs? A difficult riddle, friend. Does it juggle for coins in the marketplace? I have to tell you guys, I didn't quite get this joke. Does anybody get it?
It's 3 eyes, hobbles
so 3
around
eyes,
on 5 legs.
Wulf plus Stavro is 3 eyes. But
Okay.
5 legs? I don't get the 5 legs part.
The crutch.
Oh,
The
Stavro
crutch
has a
is the
crutch.
fifth leg.
Oh. So
There
they're basically
you
saying they're like
go.
conjoined twins. They're always together. So between them, they have 3 eyes and 5 legs. Okay, thank you. I did not get that joke. And I was like, I feel really stupid. I'm not getting this joke.
It took me a minute too.
Okay.
When I reread it, I was like, okay, okay.
I forgot Stavro had a crutch. I would have totally got that if I'd noticed the crutch.
Yeah, the bottom left panel of this page definitely shows.
Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
we'll move on. So
Okay.
gorgeous color work there, gorgeous layout. I mean, this almost looks like some kind of engraving, or it could be from Prince Valiant. I mean, it's just beautiful. But then we have this nice little triptych down here of this dude juggling these daggers. And he says, time to close up shop, Stavro. We have a long night of sword practice ahead of us. He grabs the daggers out of the air while they're being juggled. Not bad, young Wulf, but I'll not be happy till you can catch all 3, as he catches the 3rd one. And then, as Jacob alluded to, there's this bottom left panel. It's just beautiful. It's the buildings and them in silhouette as they're leaving, as the sun's setting. And Stavros seems to have his arm around Wulf, kind of support, and he has that crutch. And we find out that, yep, he is a hard taskmaster training him, but he's going to need all of this training when it's time to honor his blood oath. And then we see back in their hovel where they live together. Stavro is indeed wounded. His leg hurts. That's why he has that crutch. And he said, man, what would really help is a little bit of mulled wine. And Wulf's like, all right, fine. I'm going to go down to the wine shop and I'll get you some wine before we start training. So that's the page. And again, Hama just kills it with loading all this character stuff. You get a sense of who these are immediately. You could almost say that there's familiarity in some of these characters and the tropes to a point, but I feel like he was using them just to establish like these are known things from Tolkien, from Dune, from whatever. I mean, I'm getting Duncan Idaho, I'm getting Gurney Halleck. Like I immediately know who this dude is to him. Like on page 2, they've said 3 words to each other, and I know 100% about the relationship and how they relate to each other. So excellently done, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just the flow of storytelling that he does through this whole thing, because you don't notice. All you know is that it works so well, and you have to go back and you're like, oh, okay. And he's just a master at it. Like this whole fucking issue, I read it a bunch of times, not like in preparation or anything, but just because I loved it. And it's an incredible issue. And the storytelling, even when something fairly simple like this is going on, not a ton of action, even though it's establishing the characters. But yeah, goddamn, it's effortless storytelling.
It is. Yeah, it's like a way good editor in film, right? Like you don't notice editing when it's done masterfully. This is the same thing where it's like he's laying all of this stuff down and you're not noticing it's happening. So he's a genius.
Yeah, yeah, and how many full books has he done at this point? I don't know, 6.
Yeah.
7 maybe. He's done most of the work, it's Krusty Bunker's doing a bunch of other stuff. I mean, he's got the 3, he's got some, but this is so early in his career and he's already mastered the form.
Yeah, it's almost feeling like he's like shaken, just like he almost comes out fully formed.
He does, really. I mean, when you look at his later work, or even just in his, even the books that he edited, yeah, I don't know, so cool.
And he wrote a ton of G.I. Joe, right? That's
Yeah.
the same guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's,
okay.
I mean, that's what he's most known for.
That's
really,
his most famous
I think.
run,
That's his
right?
big famous. Yeah, that's his big famous one for sure. But
I was immediately, like you said, immediately into the relationship of these two guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm into the buddy thing, and the older mentor guy watching for the younger guy. But without knowing the backstory, you didn't need it. You already knew that they had a deep relationship.
Yeah, it's archetypes, and I don't mean I can just in a derivative way of like other pulp blah blah blah. I mean like this just feels like Siegfried, or this feels like ancient epics. Like this is like we know this on like a intuitive like ancient genetic kind of memory way. Like Campbellian.
Yeah, these are primal character archetypes.
Yeah, like
Jungian
or something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly what you're describing. And I fucking love it. You wanna move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, on this next page we see Wulf. He's heading out to get his teacher some of his mulled wine, but when he goes to order from the merchant the kind of portly fellow merchant kind of comes out, and he's just like, what's this, landlord? Are you going to serve this outlander scum? And Bashir, who Wulf had mentioned before, says, now, good bailiff, his gold's as good as any other man's. And but yeah, he's just like, well, I'll not tilt cups with barbarian riffraff. He's like, make way, brat. And then Wulf sees, he's like, well, say now, what a fine bird. He's like, a golden falcon, a fine bird indeed. And that says, and Wulf's memory sweeps back 10 years to another golden falcon soaring high in a clear northern sky, half a world away. That last panel. Oh my God. Like, as far as like going into a flashback, like it's just, I fucking love it. I loved it so much.
It almost comes alive. You can almost see it like it was in a movie.
Yeah.
And there's such movement and just like just happens visually with it. It's yeah.
And there's that sound effect that they always use for eagles, but isn't actually what eagles sound like.
Yeah,
no.
The scream.
But it is, and the falcon's like it's heading right towards you. Like this memory is just like careening towards you, towards us, the reader. And so goddamn, so good.
Yeah, it's almost like it's flying between us and the sun, and like that passage is like what takes us back in time to when the flashback starts, And this is another page that's super loaded with stuff. Like I did not notice the first time through that the Grinner is right there outside of their hovel. Mm-hmm. He's already found Stavro and him. I didn't catch that the first time.
I know, I didn't either.
I did catch the Mountains of Madness, so I love there's lots of little references to other works here. So yes, maybe not necessarily a Lovecraft reference, but kind of feels like it. God, the art. I mean, everything just feels iconic, like it could be on a tapestry or something somewhere, right? Beautiful stuff.
It's great. I love that there's also an outdoor bar, right? Like this guy's just set up in the market. He's just got an open stall where you can get beers and buy jugs. That's rad.
I didn't even notice that's just an outdoor shop.
Yeah.
Flagons from Bashir, your favorite local
Bashir's
water
bottles, man. You don't have to go inside a place. Just walk down the street.
Well, anybody else I get wine from gives me the runs, so I got to go to Bashir.
You have to go to Bashir. His stuff's the shit.
Okay, are we moving on?
Yep.
And I also didn't realize until the second time I read through this, this almost entire thing is a flashback, and it's so seamlessly done. Like when we exit this flashback and climax of the story happens, it's so subtle. I was like, oh shit, we're back in present time. Like it was a gentle landing, like on the airstrip, just like no jarring, no whatever. Like, oh wow, we're here.
Wow.
Welcome to present day, folks. Current time is 4:55 p.m. So yeah, we get this beautiful scene here. The flashback has begun, and we see that we are outside of Fair Bearholm, and this is where Wulf is from. And there's a hunting party out, and we see young Prince Wulf in this nice little portal inset. And the bird we find out is Firestorm, and he's troubled. He can sense it. And then we get this nice little, again, this just feels, I'm going to reference Dune a lot, but I felt a lot of Dune in this.
Me too.
Like this kind of like this panel here where you see the royal family, and there's like the little things above them saying, young prince, and then there's his mother, and then there's Lord Wulfgar, his father, the Thane of Bearholm, master of Silverkeep, and there's Count Stavro Darkovan, fencing master of the House of Wulfgar. So you get the whole royal family and this kind of entourage on their roles. And there's a dark omen, and you get these swirling skies behind them, and everything's kind of going gray. So this like foreshadowing, this ominous tone is coming because something bad is on the horizon. And Wulf's mom says, methinks you worry over phantoms, my lords, all these omens and portents. The vassals are content, the border's secure, and the trolls haven't sent over a raiding party in. And then as an arrow flies through Firestorm, years, she says, before she can catch her falcon on her gauntlet. This is just packed, man. Like everything is super loaded with information, but it's not clunky. Like I don't know how he does this. He greases the chute to give you a ton of character work, a ton of backstory, and it doesn't feel weighty and logy and heavy to me. It feels like it's just flying along, like you're just along for the ride, and it's like the logic of like a dream where it's like, I knew, they didn't say it, but I knew in the dream, like it was my high school, but it was also Disneyland, but it was like, like everything makes sense in a dream. This all just makes sense. I just intuitively understand everything that's happening, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that, Darkovan is the fencing master of the House of Wulfgar. You just know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I saw a lot of Dune parallels here in a lot of ways, but no pugs. Could have used a couple of pugs. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
One thing I noticed also throughout this, as we're looking at this last panel here, Hama, you and I, Jacob, love a good layout of a page that ends on an exciting panel that makes you want to turn the page. He kills it in this issue. Every page, last panel on the page is just like, oh, like he's a master at it.
It's nearly every page.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that the little porthole showing young Wulf saying like, Firestorm is troubled, mother. I can sense it. Everything about it. I mean, we're just going to be saying this for most of the issue. But yeah, there's no other way to describe it. It's masterful. And the other thing that I really loved is that middle panel. You're right. Like the winds are really picking up behind them, and it's ominous. And it's like, we can see that, but they can't.
Yep.
So we know what's happening.
Yep. The weather's reflecting the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a really cinematic story, and his panels are cinematic. It's like I can see this as a movie, and like especially that middle panel in the bottom row where you're over the Falcon's back, you're following the Falcon is flying in at the hunting party or whatever, the falconry party, whatever. And I love how they're placed. The party is placed up on the hill, like in a very natural train of, retainers that would be following a king and his family on an outing. It's just, man, come on.
I know.
Hate mail? Who sent hate mail into this fucking book?
Yeah, I don't
the
get
first
it.
incel on record.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right. So yeah, next page. I love that it opens with just the first line of narration: the tall grass erupted with misshapen forms. And yeah, it's so cool. So yeah, trolls move in for the attack, and they're wearing the sigil of Mordek my Moriak. And which again, and they call themselves, he says, "Mark us well, humans, the trolls of Draken Roost have come to rend your flesh and claim your souls. And then, King Wulf said, this is no raiding party. This is a small army. And so, they wear the sigil. And I do like Stavros. He's like, there's foul work afoot. It's just like, master of understatement. But that third panel, and thus the dogs of war were loosed upon Barenholm. And just this killer battle. The next couple pages are just incredible. But it starts brutally because it says in the melee, a feathered shaft found a royal mark, and it kills King Wulf, or gets King Wulf. And the Queen says, "My lord." It says instantly the reins of command were seized by Stavro Darkhoven. And I love that he says, "Hop to it, war dogs, a circular shield wall around the lord, and be quick about it. We'll show these trolls what fighting's about." And so, man, I love Stavro just like, this is how good he is. This is why he's so close to the family, is he jumps right in and does what he needs to do. I mean, Stavro is just such a cool character, almost, just as cool as Wulf, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that middle panel, what is the third panel of that was so awesome. You can see the hail of arrows that are coming in. It's so cool. Like this, and especially like in that panel with the wind, like Hama's showing us what's going to happen. We're seeing what's going to happen on the next panel. So it makes us all like, oh shit. And then, then it happens. It's such a cool way to tell a story.
I didn't realize that at the end of here, we're going to, spoilers on the last page here, when like the story, the origin's done, Wulf does fully create his father's look. Like he's going to be seeking vengeance mainly, and going for the throne that is rightfully his. But he has the missing touch of the cape. I didn't realize that till just now that he was recreating his dad. That's fucking God. It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really good.
It just kills me. There's so much detail and so much subtlety going on in this that I think I've read this like 4 times, and I'm still picking up on stuff. God damn.
I know.
I think the one takeaway that I picked up during this combat pages was Hama can draw a horse, and not everybody can do it.
You're right.
But his horses are great in this battle. There's one coming up in a couple pages too, where I'm just like, man, it's a good looking horse, man.
Yeah,
it looks great.
And just his little attention to stuff, like in this first panel of this page, like just putting a horse in the foreground, like just creating that sense of depth. That I think a more rushed artist, or one who wasn't as invested, would have just skipped that and just drawn a couple more trolls in the background.
Right. Yep.
Like he just goes the extra mile on every single thing. And I appreciate all of it. Okay, moving on. So the shield wall forms around the fallen king, and they're protecting themselves. There's an onslaught of trolls. They're clearly outnumbered, and within that circle of steel, it's revealed that the Lord is dead, Stavro, and by the laws of the Barenholm, the prince cannot be crowned until he comes of age. And I love this inset panel. God, it should be framed and just set alone, like just on its own, of the queen looking down, and only a true king can wield the sword of vengeance in the name of the house of Wulfgar. That I cannot say enough good stuff about that. Her just downcast and the hair falling down as she's regarding her dead husband. Absolute master stuff for me. And so we move on, and wave after wave of screaming trolls battered the shield wall. So you have to imagine this small, sad moment is taking place while there's just absolute chaos and bloodshed, screaming monsters battering shields, and there's just bloodshed and people falling while this little small moment happens in the center of this eye of the storm. God, it's good stuff. So they need to clear back the ranks. No troll can pass through alive. And at the bottom we see here, we've one horse left standing, Stavro. You must ride to warn Silvercreep, and you must take Wulf with you. And Stavro says, my lady, what of you? I'm the queen. I must stay. And you see a single tear go down Wulf's cheek. Mother, you can't stay here. She says, Wulf, oh, Wulf, please try to understand. The house of Wulfgar owes blood debt to these men around us. I cannot ask them to stay here and die alone. Please go now before I can weaken. So, absolute purity of leadership. His mom and his dad, you know what I mean? Like, she's willing to stand and die because those soldiers were willing to stand and die for them. I mean, what nobility, utter nobility from his parents. All great character notes.
Yeah, and you don't see that. You don't see that all this. You rarely see that with nobility. Like, what other queen have you seen that would stay like this? Her husband was just killed, but the panel with him at the single tier, heartbreaking. I would argue that seeing what Hama does when you just see Wulf from behind and his posture in that panel, I feel is even more heartbreaking.
Oh, the last panel, yeah.
Yeah, god damn, man.
For me, it's his mother in the far left panel when she's kind of resigned to her station, and she's like, no. She's so set in her duty. And that panel is just great. Even Stavro in there, the way he's shaded. Awesome.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful, beautiful page. The battle scene at the top is amazing. You can really feel the motion of it. Projectile weapons coming from both sides. And you just imagine how they've had to form this, protective dome of shields over the fallen king and his family. And like, man, it's just so cinematic, man.
Yeah, it is. It is epic.
So yeah, next page we get. So yeah, Stavros says, "Okay, come, lad. The time grows short." He says, "Not a very good crown for a future king, but I'll turn a edge and keep the draft from your head." And so they put his dad's shield on that's too huge and the helmet that's too big. And he says, "Count Stavro, the trolls have fallen back to regroup. We've a respite, but it mayn't last long." And then you see, I love the panel that you just kind of see what Stavro, what his leadership has made, and that they've built that shield wall, and it's worked. And there's just dead trolls all around. You can see that they've fallen back. Trolls have fallen back a little bit, but Stavro knows it's time to go. And so, he says, "Good, ready my mount and clear a space that I may have a running start." The queen says, "Stavro?" He says, "Yes, my lady." She says, "Ride swiftly, Stavro, ride swiftly." And then the final panel, oh my God, is him kind of just breaking the shield wall. And he says, "Make way, war dogs. Make way for Stavro Darkovan, the troll slayer." And goddamn, him and the horse looks scarier than Stavro does.
The horse is awesome.
And you can see the men too. They're just like, fuck yeah. They're raising their swords up. Like, can you imagine what like an inspiring thing this is to see?
So many times I heard Toto's final battle from Dune. Just those power chords just ringing out when stuff happening here.
Yeah. Fuck, so good.
Yeah, you're right. He draws the hell out of a horse.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
And those are notoriously hard to draw, right? Don't
that's what
with them.
They say.
Like those old artists and stuff, you get your Meneelys and stuff. They're just like fucking cars and horses, man. Like they can do it. They just don't like doing it. They're like, of course I can do it and it'll be great, but fuck it, man. I don't want to spend time doing that. But yeah, they did.
Yeah. And again, before we move on, last panel of the page. This dude kills last panels of pages.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't turn the page fast enough.
Yeah.
That is its own like sub art form in this medium.
Yeah, that was, you're absolutely right. Like reading this for the first time, I felt like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt so inspired and excited by the story that, I was excitedly reading it to where when I got to the end, I'm just like, oh shit, okay, I have to read this a few more times with like a more of a critical eye and just kind of pay attention to stuff and panels. But that first time I was just like, oh my God, I'm 10 years old again.
Yeah. I always try to read comics just to experience them, just like watching a film, right? Just let it wash over you. Don't be critical. And then you go back and you be critical. Like, and when it's really good, you're just in it. You're just experiencing it. There's plenty of stuff we read together that I'm just kind of like, okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, well, that, but
Yeah.
not once in here did I hit that.
No.
Okay, so we're moving on to the rest of the sequence here. Like a mounted windmill of honed steel, the fencing master tore into the thick of the bellowing horde. So he's just slashing. Again, there's like on panel 2, there's a little bit of tasteful violence. He basically just slit somebody's throat and maybe 2 guys' throats as he's just windmilling around, killing trolls left and right. But it's pretty tasteful for Atlas Seaboard.
Yeah.
And then the prince manages to turn around and look back, and he sees this panel of him, this look of horror on his face in the middle of the second row. He sees this horrifying, beautiful design on this troll with a metal cap on and a huge club, and the shield wall riven, and a towering malformed figure looming over the frail form of his mother as she strove with the weight of her husband's war sword. Like, just absolute tragedy. Like, you can see the sword like shaking. It's so heavy, and she's so small and frail, trying to lift it up and protect herself from this gross fairy tale monster just, standing over her. And he watched in dumb horror as the mighty cudgel arched over and down, eyes riveted to the scene. He's just horrified. He just saw his mom brained by a troll. Head bashed in by a giant club. And then the final panel of the page, again, this thing turns around and it's the most horrifying, these gross teeth, and it's got greenish cream ochre skin, and it's just turning around and leering at the boy. He saw that grinning monstrosity of a face leering obscenely over a shaggy shoulder, now spattered with his mother's blood. Wow.
Yeah, that last line, we were talking a lot about Hama visually and storytelling, but God, he's a great fucking writer.
Yeah, he is.
Like, the writing in this is also just top notch. That, especially, that line you just read as the trolls singing over, I was just like, God damn, it's beautiful. It's beautiful prose.
Yeah.
The 2 things that I think that based on our conversation, so maybe the fact that the mother, being a queen of a northern realm, maybe, a falconer, maybe she should have been more good with that sword or something like that. Maybe was a complaint some fans might have had, like, oh, why was she such a pushover? But I like that fact of it. And she could have been married to Wulfgar through some other kingdom, whatever. Who cares? That's great. And then, but I would have liked to seen Stavro have the reins in his mouth like Rooster Cogburn. Getting out of this would have been super cool. And the fun, not only is the Smiler gross, his helmet is gross. It's just like bumpy metal thing.
It's like warts.
Yeah,
it
man.
It's so gross.
Yeah, it's great. Good times.
Yeah, see, I guess I was taking them more like true nobility. Like, she is a fine woman from upper breeding, so she would do falconing as like a hobby. Like, it's
sure
all women like that are nobility would know how to work with a falcon, but like, she would never handle a sword because she's royalty. She never would have. There would never be any need for it. I mean, maybe if they came from a more violent culture, but this seems like more refined. So it makes sense to me,
Yeah, and in that article, when he was talking about, he's like, well, I didn't want to do the typical sword and sorcery thing. And he's like, I wanted to do a little bit of Prince Valiant in there and a little bit of Tolkien. And so I appreciate all of that, slant on it a lot. Like, it's fresh. So that's one thing that I find disappointing if fans, of the genre in that time were upset about the book or had nitpicks about it. To me, if I would have been like, man, this is different. You know what I mean? I'm getting the fantasy story, heroic action I like, and it's different than this one over here that is a dude in a fur loincloth.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I would have thought Cole kind of paved the way for a thinking barbarian,
Yeah.
True.
But even Cole, they swung him. You know, when the Severins were drawing him in the first series, it was so Prince Valiant and very, courtly with supernatural crap going on. And then then they took the crown away from him and made him a wandering barbarian type dude. And it, and then it just becomes the same. And so that's what, like Wulf, like why it's great. It's a cool take on the genre.
So Conan must have sold better than Cole, so they're just trying to make Cole more.
Hell Conan. Yeah.
Gotta make the masses happy, Jared.
Whatever, dude. The Severin Cole stuff is gold.
Golden.
It is really, really good. All right, well, let's go to the next page, man. I can't wait because, Matt, this is where the power chord hits for me.
Yeah, totally.
Is this page. Because, fuck, I mean, okay, first you have to say just the layout of this page is goddamn insanely great. It's a full page illustration with like 5 kind of panels like above the illustration showing a dragon with a rider named Balak, and he's the Eye of Mordek, like the Eye of Sauron. And so he's chasing down Stavro, but I love it. So right in that top, panel there, it says, meanwhile, Stavro has cut through the last line of trolls. And so he's going as fast as he can. You can see there's arrows chasing after him, but it says, never thinking that a foe could attack from above until it was too late. And we see this crazy dragon. And yeah, okay. So this is what I love about Balak, the Eye of Mordek, is that I love, this is such a cool fucking image, is that it says like in his chest is embedded this crystal that has a living image of Mordek himself that is just watching all of this. It's just like, oh my God, Matt, I'm going to drink for this.
Oh,
because
it's in my notes.
It's a goddamn scrying pool.
It's a built-in scrying pool.
It's the other end of the scrying pool.
Finally.
God, it's been a very dry season.
It's been such a dry season, but I saw that and I was giddy. I mean, aside from, I'm just like, it's the coolest way we've seen a scrying pool ever.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
It's so awesome.
How is this not an 80s line of toys? Didn't you see that and go, did I miss this toy line in like 1982? Because it really feels
seriously. Oh my God!
They could have done that early lenticular hologrammy,
totally, like visionaries.
On the dude. It would have been rad.
It was great. So so this giant dragon has grabbed Stavros' horse, and then and he takes he has a blade in his mouth between his teeth, and he's like, "We've no fear of Mordek's sorcery, young wolf." Then so it says, "For there is no magic," and you can see him just going right towards Balak, and he's got the fucking dagger raised. And again, you can't turn the page fast enough,
right?
But just kind of marvel at this layout. I mean, just.
Yeah.
Because it's a full page illustration of this enormous, and the dragon takes up 80% of this page. Like the dragon is enormous. This was when, this is, like I say, Matt, this was the power chord for me. This was just like oh shit. Because everything just got bigger than life. The action did on this page.
Yeah. Fire page.
Yeah.
Imagine owning this.
Oh yeah. It'd be the one
it would be. Well, there's one other. I have this one and one other.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot that would work. But this is a super rad one. Like how the dragon is over some of the panels, like the depth of it.
Yeah.
The placing of the panels where, they're like, it's wild.
Yeah. Larry Hama. Damn. Okay. So this he continues that thought, right? He was saying, "For there is no magic that can stand the bite of honest steel," as he drives his dagger deep into that scrying crystal ball, whatever the hell that is, in his chest. And it says, "But before the beleaguered pair could jump free, the wounded, mindless monstrosity was airborne." So they're stuck on this dragon back as that dude falls off dead with lifeless eyes just staring back at us. "Hold tight, lad. It seems Mordek has provided us with a change of steeds." Oh, can you imagine this being like a mid-70s Ray Harryhausen, like,
Dude,
Sinbad-y?
it's so, I can see it. I can see it all.
So good.
Early 80s. Perfect.
Like Clash of the Titans era.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
While 1,000 leagues away in dread Drakenroost, stronghold of Mordek Malmoriak. And then we see the attack on the one side of the scrying pool has destroyed the source. So I'm drinking a second time for that.
Shit, yes. It's in my notes. Drink for a second goddamn time.
I think you need to do it twice because it's as close as you're going to get to Big Glass.
Good call.
Goddamn, Jared.
Episode 200.
Jared, preaching the scripture.
So we see Mordek, and he's saying an unexpected move by an underestimated player has turned the tide of the game, Gerba. So we get to see the little henchman type of thing. Like, all the stuff is so classic, right? You knew there was going to be this, and it almost looks like one of the dwarves from Phantasm or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's left me with some rather unfortunate loose ends. Yet the major objective has been taken. Bearholm is mine for the taking, and the crown of Wulfgar sits on a dead man's head. But master, what of the heir, the young Prince Wulf? And then we get another drink for a playset.
Motherfucking playset. When I saw this, I was just like, God damn it, man.
Again, this is just haunting my dreams. There's an Earth 2 where I had this in 1982. But if you're just listening, we're seeing, it almost looks like Apocalypse from DC or something like that. Like, the sky is red with plug plasma black. Like, it just looks fire scorched, like infernal. And there's purple towers of stone and steel, and they're made to look like giant troll or goblin heads. Their mouths are open, and there's plug plasma and Ditko dots inside of just fire roaring inside of them. Smoke coming up. It looks like a nightmare as Mordek and Gerba are walking across this bridge out of there, saying, Prince Wulf is powerless until he comes of age. 10 years hence, I must simply find and slay the troublesome brat before he can ascend to the crown. Tiresome stuff, but necessary. So now we know that Wulf is indeed hunted. Mordek wants to kill him before he turns old enough to take the crown and take back Bearholm. Wow. All the palettes for Drakenroost, right? Just the purples and the oranges. A completely different feel to what we just saw, the more pastoral greens and blues and whatever of the fields and yellows of the hunting party and everything else.
Yeah, I love that it's just such a majorly like confident move to have your scrying object just outside. Just, right out there, right on the fucking porch, man. There's all these like stoves all around. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was outside. You're right.
Yeah. It's just right out there on the altar.
Wine shops, scrying objects, they're all just out there, just al fresco, as they would say.
Yeah.
He's got multiples because this happens again.
Okay.
Another one breaks in another issue. Like,
that's right.
He's just got them around because they break all the time.
He's got a box full of them. There's a whole room full of boxes.
Well, that's what happens when your scrying device isn't a pool; it's a crystal. Crystals are made to be broken.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, that's okay. All right. So, I got to move on because this is the other page that I would want for my goddamn art. I read this. Okay, when I was reading this page, I felt the same as when I was reading The Creatures on the Loose, where Man Wolf is trapped on the moon and he's making fucking batteries out of he's chiseling them into the earth and making the alkaline pools and stuff, because this has Hawkwind as a soundtrack. This is everything. So goddamn. So it's okay. The injured dragon and its passengers. So they fly past some shit that blew my mind. So it says, high above the mountains of madness, the dying dragon beast flew on, and it says, past the floating cities of the sky pirates, above the gathered hosts of the lizard kings, through the dizzying spires of the valley of screaming demons. Oh my God, every one of these pages. Okay, the floating cities of the sky pirates, it's all like these amazing airships and stuff. Every single panel has its entire, there's so much lore being dropped in these 4 panels.
Yeah.
this is what you were talking about earlier, Jared, just how the world explodes and expands. This is where Hama just takes it. I mean, this is where the world just gets so huge and it's perfect. It's just them flying on this injured, evil dragon, and they're going past it. Obviously, the distance that they're flying seems massive. It seems like they've flown for 1,000 miles or something. But everyone, aside from that, all the crazy airships, then they're the gathered hosts of the lizard kings. It's all these armored lizards with crazy spears. And I love that one because you can see the dragon just in the coming over the moon. So it's moonlight. So the palettes of that page are like blues. They're just like light and black and blue. The last page, the dizzying spires of the Valley of Screaming Demons. It's these giant spires, these pillars that are all they're just made up of screaming demons. Every one of them has 50 faces on it of just these demons screaming in agony. And I don't know, I love it. And I love that the dragon is flying in we get a different perspective every single panel. I think that another artist just would have had the dragon be the same in each panel, and just the background would have changed. Yep, because that's easy. Because that's just, I just do that. But Hama has it.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, it really would be. But I even think that most artists would do that just because they don't, I don't know, maybe they don't respect the reader as much. But, Hama does this really highbrow shit. And the way that he does it is so easy to follow, but it's so deep and it's so rich. And that's what I found is the perspective that we're seeing of the dragon in each one of these 4 panels just elevates this page. And this page was already as cool as shit. And just the more things that I noticed about it, it just made it go up and up and up. And yeah, this is the art that I would want from this issue, I got to say.
Yeah. This page is so good. I mean, I feel like it's just Hama saying well, maybe this will go for a while. Let me just vomit out some things. Let me just drop some seeds in the ground like Johnny Appleseed. And I can come back and pick these apples later. Maybe I can talk about the Sky Pirates or the hosts of the Lizard King. I mean, you know what I mean? It just feels like he's just throwing stuff out there and saying, we'll come back to this later. And it's just all rich and it's just so full of stuff. Your mind just starts lighting up. Like if you're an MRI machine, right? Just all these, each panel, ooh, these could be a season of this book. Them going back to these different worlds and talking to these different people, these different kingdoms and interacting. It's just full of potential. So much meat just being added to these bones as this goes along.
Yeah, my mind blew apart at this page. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I'm sorry, but I have to go back to the previous page just to mention that when I saw Draken Roost, well, first off, I love that as you were saying, the color change is subtle through the entire page too, right? Where you are starting with those pastels, and then the middle panels, it's a blend of the pastels and the purples, and then it goes into that heavy purples. I did find that Mordak Mal Moriak was a tough read, and I wish he kind of just would have stopped with Mordak Mal.
Yeah,
I didn't need the 3.
It's a mouthful.
It's yeah. And then when I saw Draken Roost, I was like, they need to do a line of vibrators and bongs. That's what you could do with that.
Okay, well,
that's a business line. That's a pitch you just did right
3D
there.
3D printers and
yeah. But yes, the next page where he does open up the world, and they're traveling leagues on a wounded dragon. All of this, I'm sold. I'm sold on the series.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of this. If this is just hints of things that you're passing over, yeah, give me all of that. Come on, you say Sky Pirate, yeah, I'm there. And then that panel of the lizard army the Lizard Kings, that's so badass. Like that's such a Dungeons and Dragons old school. Like if you took away all the color and it was just black and white, and that was in a module called, like Assault of the Lizard Kings or whatever. Yes, yeah, yep.
And it even has that thing where, like, same thing with like Lord of the Rings. Like, I'm trying to remember who the things where they had like the big elephants or whatever. But it's like each peoples have their own kind of like, they feel Eastern, whatever. Like in I forgot, that's Two Towers or whatever. But like this has its own look and feel. Like it's already got a baked in aesthetic where it's like these feel separate from the rest of the world. They feel like their own culture. Like, not necessary.
Yeah.
They could have had the exact same armor as the trolls or something else, and it would have effectively been the same. But he made it feel a little flourish, a little zhuzh, a little whatever, and it feels different. And so it just feels like it's just loaded, like concentrate, like Marmite. It's just Marmite, baby. So much flavor packed in there. And it's just all Blue Oyster Cult lyrics,
It
or something.
really is. Oh, God. But yeah, Jared, you're right. Each one of those is a fully formed world. It just exists. Yeah. I just willed it into existence. One panel.
Yeah. God damn.
What's funny is for the wedding invitation that I had, that my wife and I did, it was a 4-page comic book. I commissioned a guy to draw it, and it was a story of a hero going to rescue their loved one, and the hero was, kind of obscured by a cloak and a hood and everything, so you didn't really know who it was. But there was a scene where it said, like, for love, this hero went through the dizzying spires of the Valley of Screaming Demons, and like I did that sort of thing for a page and a half. And so it was, to see it here, I was just like, oh man, it's maybe a trope for fantasy stories, but it's a damn fine one.
Yeah. It's effective. Nothing wrong with a trope that works.
No.
And then my twist on it was when the hero got to where the dragon had the person captured, and you thought it was going to be the prince that rescued the princess. It was the other way. It was my wife requesting me, rescuing me.
Very sweet.
Does your wife have any interest in this stuff, or she just tolerate it?
No.
Gotcha.
That was a quick answer.
She loves you.
She sure thought it was interesting when we were courting, and she was kind of, hey, that's interesting and new. And now she's just like, geez, dude.
And so was it difficult to get to select your son's name?
Was
it a battle?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. No, I mean, she was cool with it.
Okay.
But yeah, she was kind of like, had her own name, and but I was pretty insistent on. I was like, well, if it's a boy, we're doing Conan, and she was like, oh, all right, I think, okay.
I'm impressed. I can't imagine taking up that charge and winning. Exciting.
Oh yeah, man. She's my wife's wonderful, cool girl. So she's very, yeah.
Well, we're thankful for her. All right, we're moving on, guys. Okay, so on the blistering desert of Kesh, by the way, Kesh, some of this stuff made me think of Thongor. I didn't know when Thongor came out, but
because of the jungles of Kush,
the airship and the jungles of Kush.
Okay,
yeah. See, the same thing, like right where there's like this travel across the world, man.
Yeah,
it's just
the vampire plants and the
give it to me.
Yeah.
Creatures on the Loose, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was. Wasn't it didn't it start there? Yeah.
Yes.
That's where it was, yeah. So yeah, on the blistering desert of Kesh, where the great beast finally expired. I love that through that last page, this thing was bleeding out, and they just kept kind of pulling up on the reins at it and just making it go and go and go until its heart stopped from blood loss. It just collapses, and they survive, hurling its passengers to the burning sand. Again, don't want to beat this drum too much, but this is Dune. Like they had the hobbled device that they rode out until it just crashed, and then they had to crawl through the desert. The Thopter, yeah. And then Stavros says, a blood oath should be spoken in a high place with a ring of fire and steel, but we'll have to make do. Know thee the words, young wolf. And he's holding up a broken blade. This thing is like the last thing they have. Aye, Stavro, give the blade here. And another tear falls. By the gods of blood and iron, by the souls of my slain kin, by the honor of the house of Wulfgar, Mordek Malmoriak, I pledge thee death. He says, well said. Now give me a hand, for I fear my leg was butchered in the fall. So we see now that's how he got the limp. It requires the crutch, which created the joke that I didn't get from the beginning of this issue. Going way back, way back. And they see in the distance 2 days later, stumbling through, they see it. They see Azerbaijan, and they approach it, and they go through its arched gates. So they have now arrived in where the story started, not in time, but in place. Great page. The blood oath. I mean, there's just something to me about him pledging. Normally this is done probably in a garden with a fountain in it and someone saying something dramatic, and there's a bunch of people and there's velvet robes and all this finery, and you're formally declaring war on someone, and it's just, this is what we have. This is what our circumstances are. Here's a broken, shattered piece of a blade. Do your duty as your son, as the son of the king, and vow to kill his murderer. Great stuff.
Yeah, just that exchange from Stavro, just like, know thee the words, young wolf. It's like, I, Stavro, give the blade here. And so good.
And the shadow on Stavro, he's looking down, like he doesn't even need to make eye contact with him. He's like, you got this. I know you do.
Yeah.
I'm just asking a rhetorical question.
Exactly.
I love how quickly young Wolf has had to grow up and take, man, through the whole fight, he's just hanging on Stavro's back during the whole escape. And he's had to bear witness to hundreds of horrors and dangers. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing the blood oath. Yeah. Like he's grown up and he's dedicated to this path. It's great.
Yeah. Kids grow up so fast these days. Those days.
All right. So next page, like you said, Matt, we're back at the market. And I like that says, into the midst of the teeming marketplace. Though stunned by the unreal air of their situation, the pair was bound by the reality of empty stomachs. So I loved this. So they're starving. They're seeing this pig on a spit. But Stavro just has one gold coin, and he's looking at it. You can see he's just kind of, worrying it with his hands a bit. He says, should he buy 1 or 2 immediate meals or the means to buy many? And as he's doing this, a merchant yells to him like, hey, old trooper, need of some new gear? And I love his face. It says, to a soldier, the answer seemed obvious. Then he says, here, shopkeep. He flips him the gold coin, says, I'll take that set of matched daggers. Shopkeep's like, a wise choice, sir. Well balanced they are, for the juggling and all that. He says, what? Then Stavro's like, what troubles you, young wolf? And he says, well, once I heard my father say that noblemen who lose their land and titles must become brigands and murderers in order to survive. Is this our lot? And the last panel, Stavros says, nay, young wolf, we'll not be outlaws. And he's looking almost towards us, And again, it's a page turner, that last panel.
Yeah. How will we survive? Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
You can smell that pig roasted on that spit.
But you can smell it through them. Like you're so hungry through them that you're just like, that's how invested we are at this point in the story.
Yep.
Yeah, it just shows us again more of that. I can't pronounce the name of the city that they're in, but just seeing more of the marketplace and everything. It's just it's such great settings.
Yeah. Does Azerbaijan remind you Jared, of anything you've encountered? Like, I was trying to think, is this something like Fafford and Grey Mouser or something? Like,
Yeah, it's got all that flavor. It's got all the
okay.
flavor of like, like any marketplace, like anything by John Buscema drawn a scene of Conan walking down the street would look like this. You know what I mean? Like he's got it. This book's got it.
It's got the goods.
It's got the goods, man. and I love the choice that like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna buy his food. I'm gonna buy his daggers.
Yep.
Watch this.
Teach a man to fish. All right, and so it was that the proud fencing master, of a proud house came to juggle on street corners, and we see him plying his trade, and Wulf's there holding a tray out for any money that people want to donate for this performance. He's reduced to just holding a begging bowl. They subsist on watery gruel and vegetables. You see them just eating out of, just having the most like turnip and water, basically, and an onion, maybe if they're lucky, a little flavor. In a mean hovel. That is their home, so they've rented this back of a bigger house type of thing, just a little room. But every night, their shack reverberated to the clamor of Wulf's training. Released with a snap and followed through. Thunk! You see that her training montage coming up. Years go by, so now we're just time's going faster and faster. Harder, faster. Bah! A scullery maid could do better. He's teaching him sword work. Stavros' standards grew more difficult to keep up with. He slaps him upside the head. Block it, numbskull. Almost never counts in a real fight. That's like moves or things for cattle and love play, right?
You're just ramping up the Dune comparisons here.
And his determination to groom an unbeatable fighting machine grew stronger and stronger. Set up and fight. To conquer fear is to conquer death. To conquer death is to conquer life. Get up and fight. Sort of a litany against fear, but I'm not going to belabor that point.
Go ahead. It deserves to be belabored.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just getting this is probably 3-5 years of time passing in these 3 panels. Just showing that this is every single night. These guys eat on the barest you can to survive. They work in the streets to earn that money to live and pay that rent. And at night, they work their asses off to make Wulf be the barbarian they needs to be.
Well, this is why Wulf is so lean. It says, all he does is train, but they eat watery gruel and vegetables. So yeah, they're living they're living the life of a esthete. They're just they're just doing, like you say, just existing to train and to fight, and that's their entire lives. That middle panel of both of them throwing knives is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that one. Because you can see him, you can see Wulf just kind of holding the blade and watching Stavro do it. And I don't know, everything Hama does in every one of these panels. My God.
Stavro looks like Duke from G.I. Joe from alternate Earth. He's been through hell.
Yes.
He's tough but fair, man. I love it.
Yeah.
They're busking the streets and then training at night.
So I love it. On the next page, we kind of see this continue, but just like what we were thinking, So it's kind of sad, young Wulf is looking out. It says, with the days spent in begging and the nights spent in arms practice, the youth had little time for play. So, he's looking out, and there's kids playing marbles or whatever whatever their version of marbles is. And Wulf's just you can see him just kind of longing for this. On the next page, Wulf as they're begging, and Wulf sees, it says nor for other pastimes common to the young, just like two young kids out on some sweet date holding each other's hands. But that's not part of Wulf's life. That's not in the cards for him. That just says no. It says just hour after hour of grueling sword play. It says which only serve to worsen the pain of Stavros' injuries until his only solace lie at the bottom of a wine jug. This is reminding us that all these years, Stavro is crippled, basically. Yeah. He's in constant pain, and he's pushing Wulf, and he's doing everything he can. And so in his few little off hours that he has, he just drinks away his pain. But he's probably doing that an hour out of 24 hours a day. because he's just working, he's juggling knives, he's training Wulf. But yeah, I mean, you can see as the years go on, that's the only way that he can, take the pain away.
But that's Hama's writing just being rich and layered, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't need to have this note. This, just having them train for 2 pages is enough to get to where you need to go to have the payoff that you need. But Hama chooses to make it human. There's a cost for Stavro has to pay a price to get Wulf to where he needs to be. Like, just this human element, like making it human. They're not just automatons. They're not just figures in some cave painting. Like, these are people. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and even just that simple panel, that beautiful panel of them fighting, and Stavro has his goddamn crutch. You just reminded again, like, this is not the same guy that broke that shield wall. He's broken himself. And Hama just reminds you of that in those 2 panels, like he's training and he's pushing Wulf and he's training, but he still has the crutch. And then he's drunk. His flagon is turned over and spilled. So it's saying all about Stavro, but then at the last 2 panels says, but there was no solace for Wulf. So this is the nights for young Wulf. It says no haven, not even in sleep, from that monstrous face that haunts every moment of his existence, a face he had come to call the Grinner. And so, we just see him just grimacing in his sleep, like gnashing his teeth over these nightmares he's having over the troll that murdered his mother. So this is it's a really sad, tragic page. Like, every page just kind of brings home the point of just their tragic existence. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an existence bent for revenge, but not in this way that is like noble and great. It's really showing the sacrifices that human beings have to give for this life of revenge. It's really affecting. This page was really sad to me.
Yeah, it is. It's like capital P, pathetic. Like,
yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
That another great thing about that silhouette panel is you can see how lean and strong young Wulf is. Like, how he has, you can see that he's becoming a fighter, and it's great. You don't need to see him with his shirt off and a bunch of muscles.
No,
you can see it in that silhouette. It's so great. And I think, you kind of hit on something here with the sadness of this page. A lot of heroic fantasy, especially maybe some of the modern stuff, is so like, I don't know. I guess I really like a bummer. I really like a fantasy story that is bleak, and a bummer and a struggle. That's where I find a lot of enjoyment in a hero's story, as opposed to like, oh, everything's going to be great in the end for these heroes. They're going to conquer the bad guy. Yay. I like where it's like there's a cost, and there's struggle, and there's pain, and there's, you got to overcome all that to get to a higher point. And that's, I guess, why I love maybe Wulf. It's a bummer, man.
Yeah, it's
a bummer revenge tale is what it is.
I think that makes sense, though. I mean, like, just as a reader, I mean, you have to pay something. There has to be an economy to everything. Things have to cost something. You have to earn things for them to have any kind of value. So, I mean, if they just had an easy go of it when they came to town and just opened up a little shop and sold knickknacks, and he was just magically really good at sword fighting just because he's nobility or something like that, that would be massively unsatisfying. He has to earn what he gets. Otherwise, we as readers don't care or don't believe it.
He's got to sacrifice, man.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice. But like you were saying, Jacob and Jared, like, just like this page is so sad, and it's such a good low point, like, dramatically, for these characters to be at. I mean, you're realizing, like, he's having these night terrors thinking about the guy who brained his mom, while Stavro is getting blind drunk to self-medicate from the pain of what he has to do physically to do his duties and take care of his charge. Like, so, he's rippingly hungover every morning they get up, goes out in his crutch and goes out and starts juggling knives again. Like, it's just pathetic. It's so sad.
It's so sad.
And you assume that Stavro had a relationship with Wulf's parents, like a brotherhood probably with the king, or maybe even a brotherhood with the queen. I'm sure he had a deep friendship with them, I would like to think. So like he's probably heartbroken over the loss of them as well. And so yeah, man, it's good storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sense just from the brief hunting scene that we saw and the introduction of them that just like it's kind of like that, just the palace intrigue stuff. Like he is the most trusted, closest person to the parents. Like they trust him to raise their son, to be alone with their son. Like he's the leader of the guard, like the master at arms, whatever. Like I just get the impression that he was the inner circle and the closest he could possibly be without being nobility to the parents. So you're right. I didn't think about that. He's also mourning and busted up. All right, let's move on here because exciting stuff is afoot. The reverie ends abruptly with a shrill shout. That whole thing was a flashback. We just jumped back to modern times. He just got the wine that Stavro asked for at the beginning of the story. Wulf, come quick. Something terrible has happened at your house. 'Twas 3 strangers with swords. We get this great panel of him dashing off. He's almost 45-degree angle, like with urgency to get back, screaming Stavro. It's a big panel in the middle here. He comes home, enters the room, and finds 2 of the 3 daggers that Stavro juggled every day for years are stuck in 2 men's chest, and Stavro is collapsed in the foreground. Great composition here. As he enters the room, you see Wulf's sword and his chainmail shirt hanging up on the entrance, different colored, kind of a little hint that things are all coming together. All the chords are starting to congeal and make one massive power chord. Da, da. And then the bottom here, heartbreaking bottom row. A dark fury rages within Wulf's pounding breast for a brief moment. And we see Stavro collapsed from Wulf's perspective, one dead eye just gazing lifelessly. Why, oh ye gods of blood and iron, tell me why? And it's to be replaced by deadly deliberation. And this is like some of my favorite like Conan panels when he's just like berserker angry and he just looks horrifying. And he's almost black and white, but there's just a hint of gold. And his face is in shadow with rage. It took 3 men to slay you, old friend, and you took 2 of the dogs with you. And I'll wager that. So he's starting an oath here. This page kicked ass, man. And Stavro dead in that bottom left panel is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1-2 punch to the gut, this last 2 pages, their life being so sad. But like you were saying earlier at the beginning of this issue, Matt, goddamn, the way we come out of the flashback is more than seamless. You don't even feel it, but like it's not shocking. It's not like, oh shit, like, okay, now I guess we're back in the present. But it's more like waking from a dream than I've ever seen in a comic.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's delivered with a page turn, which I thought was pretty good too.
That everyone is.
Yeah. And just this bottom left panel of Stavro being dead again. He's still wearing the same clothes he was wearing when they were attacked by the trolls. Like they're just full of holes and tattered, and he's been wearing these clothes for 10 years.
Oh,
they never had enough money to even buy a new tunic.
Jesus, it's so
just more
sad.
gruel water.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, fucking brutal. But yeah, okay, so we see on the next page, Wulf's like, oh, the 3rd assassin escaped not unwounded. It says, your funeral song must wait, Stavro Darkhoven. You always told me dark vengeance must be undertaken with coolness. But there's a howling demon within me now. I love it. He's getting on the mail. In the next panel, he's like, and it screams for blood. And so he's tracking. He just says the slayer leaves a track like a stricken boar. It says, and Wulf finds that his foe is not a man. And so we see, Wulf through who we know will be the Smiler. And we hear him say, "Ho, little man, come and be slain." Then we see Wulf, "You." But just the way that Hama's framing this, like we already know. And we know, and it's already hit us before the reveal. Which is it's just a cool way of doing things. The way that he foreshadows every major event in this to where we're in on it before the characters almost.
Yeah. And again, perfect page ending.
No, I know, right? God, but that panel of him, and it screams for blood. So, he's had this mail, he's had this sword the whole time, but he's never wore it out in public. Mm-hmm. You can see that he's never had a chance or even has won it. Nothing has warranted him coming out like this. But this is the thing. And you can see him, he's getting his gauntlets on, he's pulling the lace with his teeth as he's going. It's just, this is his biggest badass turn. But it matters because we haven't seen this. He doesn't go around posturing with all of his stuff on every day. He's only going to pull it out when it matters. And this is the time that matters.
Yep.
And I love his look. It's so simple and functional, and it's classic, and just it's great. He's not another furry loincloth guy.
No,
he's gonna face one down though.
He is, and I love that you already know who it is.
You do,
yeah. and but that's gonna but you're like, oh, I gotta turn the page because I can't wait till these dudes face off.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that then.
Let's do it.
It is indeed the Grinner. It's that troll. Aye, little man, I bring the regards of Mordek Malmoriak. He bids me cleave your skull. As I slew your mother before you, the Grinner. Scum, I'll send your filthy soul screaming to the pit as he charges towards him. Not an easy task, little man. For nothing can stand against me. Their swords clash in this wonderful horizontal panel. Explosion of steel touching steel, and Wulf's sword is shattered. Know ye not this blade I wield? 'Tis the war sword of the Lord Wulfgar, torn from your mother's dead hand that day in the tall grass. So insult upon injury, he is fighting the man that slew his mother with his dad's sword that he stole.
Jesus.
And he essentially unarmed him with it because he broke his own poor sword that they bought with, money they made from begging in the streets.
I just love how in that, the second to last panel, we see just how much bigger this troll is than Wulf. I mean, this troll's just massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that last panel too. I mean, you can kind of see like the little runes on the sword as it gleams that are obviously like, from the House of Wulfgar.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's supposed to be like trailing magic or whatever when their swords clash in that like long middle panel. But I love that they don't come right out and say that, like, oh, it's a magic blade or enchanted blade. I mean, you kind of maybe get hints of that with the runes and everything, but
don't need to.
It's a cool little visual.
Yeah. I was wondering about that too. And I like that it was just kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, we continue. And he says, now the game has come full circle. Can you guess which hand shall strike the blow? And this is it. It's all coming back together. All from the beginning. It says, within the liquid shimmer of the flashing blade, Wulf sees the wraith-like form of a juggler. He remembers 3 other blades whirling round a familiar pair of hands. Yet this is but a single blade, a blade destined for his hand. Destined for, and so he catches the sword, grabs it from the troll, and just buries it into his chest. It says, destined for vengeance, he screams. And I love just, the troll's kind of just like death grimace is crazy. So yeah, this is the moment we've all waited for, this whole issue. But I love that it's framed within him having to take what he learned from Stavro since he was a young boy, you know, what Stavro had really almost told him, like, this is what you need to do. Like, you need to be able to do this. Like, he knew. And then this comes out right at the moment that he can actually have his vengeance, and he uses that. And it's beautiful.
Look at that in that middle row, that left panel of his eyes with Stavro juggling the blades. It's almost like a tarot card.
It is.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And you got to love the dramatic payoff of like this is full circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing has just come to completion.
Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah, because you see Stavro juggling on the very first page of the comic.
Yep.
And if those Dark Angels saw now what became of all of that they were mocking him for.
Yep. But he's glad he wasn't, wasting time between their thighs that whole time. He was actually training. It all paid off.
For this moment right here.
Yet that is a mighty end of this page.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I swear every page of this issue is a killer ending. Couldn't have planned it better. Okay, last page here, right? So that same bailiff who pulled up's like, "Oh, so Outlander, it's come to murder in the streets, eh? Best put up that sword and come along peaceably, or it'll go harder on you." He says, "Nay, Sir Bailiff, I'll not rot in your dungeon." And he looks like he's unfazed by this and completely confident. He says, "But I will take your horse," and shoves the big fat guy off the white steed, "and your fine cloak," rips the red cape off of him that matched the one his father had, and puts it on. So now he is the figure of his father, just lacking a beard, as he rides out of the gates of the city. And you can tell your fat magistrates that the Lord Wulf rides to Dark Drakenroost to slay a sorcerer. And the bottom says, next issue on sale in January.
God damn.
Well,
I think that the first panel on this page, I love that he chose to do like a fisheye lens.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't notice
on
that.
the background.
It's so vision.
It's so
You're
wild.
Right. How weird is that?
And then that almost looks like, I don't know, man. The next frame of him like kind of looking up at the bailiff, telling him, I'm not gonna rot in your dungeon. That just looks like a heavy, I don't know, man, like some sort of heavy metal cover to me.
Totally.
If it'd be all painted out and everything.
Yeah, amazing stuff. I was saying earlier in the show, I didn't realize until this, my fourth or fifth read through this thing that the cloak was completing his father. He's truly his father's son now. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so many of the show's listeners support the podcast by becoming Patreon members. And there are lots of tiers of support to fit every budget, but the most popular one is Pack Member, and that's $5 a month. And they get the weekly bonus show that we call the Shadow Show in audio or video format. And we make lots of special gated content for those higher tiers that's just for them, kind of exclusive stuff, a way for us to say thank you for supporting the show. We were talking about the Shadow Show earlier in the episode. Jacob, we just published our 121st episode, so there's a ton of stuff if people want to go check it out, of us talking about movies, music, other comic books. Sometimes we back comics we're excited about on Kickstarter, and then we review those on the show. All kinds of stuff like that. So, please check it out. Go to patreon.com and check that out. We'd love to have you back the show and do the Shadow Show. But besides all those wonderful things, they also get shout-outs in the show. So we do those right now. So Pack members are wonderful people like Ben Potter,
Blake, last name withheld,
Brad Elmore,
Brian Steed,
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Caleb,
Dave Kennedy,
David D,
David Goodwin,
Glenn Lash,
Grace,
James Shegas,
Jared from the Swords and Scrolls podcast.
Wow.
That's you.
That's you, man.
Huh?
That's you.
What? Wait, what?
Jason W.
Jeff Fitzpatrick.
Jerry from Buffalo.
Justin the Owl.
Kyle from the Heartland.
Matt Harvey.
Melissa Watts.
Michelle from Moonlit Comics.
Mighty Morphin Blue.
Pat Zvek.
Rob from Marvel by the Month.
Russ from Tomes of Evil and Taste the Pot of Dracula.
That's right. Shadavid.
Tony Iupi.
Tim Tucker.
And Worm Drive Pro. Thanks again to all the pack members. There is one more tier, one more level to our Patreon. We like to call them the Star Gods. So these celestial barbarian deities get everything that we had talked about before, access to all the shadow shows, shoutouts, everything like that. But they also get access to, like you were saying earlier, Matt, special gated content we make just for them. We just made something just the earlier this month, which was going through some of the weird monster movie magazines that Atlas had put out, which gives that was the last thing, Matt. You had to sneak that in because that makes us completists.
Yeah,
makes Atlas completist.
Yeah, that way I can sleep at night.
Exactly. So so all that stuff, and these are your Star Gods. And for the $10 a month, when you reach the 6 months of being a Star God, you can go to our Threadless shop, choose whatever you want. Choose a shirt, a mug, whatever you want. We'll send it right to you free of charge. And so Star Gods are people like Ben M.,
Bill Eschbach.
Brink.
Eric Hadley,
Jason Finestone.
Jesse McFerrin.
John Walsh,
Josh Link.
MJ.
Mark Nivens,
Michael Giacchino.
Ryan from Across the Bifrost, a Mighty Thor podcast.
and Uber patron to the Saints, Jackson T. Overstreet.
Saint of Patrons.
Saint of Patrons.
It's like the Saint of Killers.
It is. Well, that's why, that's why we have all 4 issues of Wulf.
Yes.
And Jackson T. Overstreet.
Yes. You can get this from my cold, dead hands.
That's right.
So there was a letters column, and I selected a few letters. So we're going to each take turns reading them.
Nice.
I'll start with one. Letters to Wulf was what it was imaginatively called. Dearest Wolfie, yippee, yahoo, a new barbarian. What's this? Glory be, he thinks too. I didn't know God gave out minds in this dark era. Keep up the fine work, Atlas. Viva la Wulf, the thinking man's barbarian. Don't get me wrong, I love the action too. Okay, Atlas, you're new, you're on top, and you've got some great people on your side. Don't blow it. Rudy Menke, Springfield, Missouri. Is that Missouri?
Let's see. I think it is. Yeah.
I believe it is.
Okay.
You're a mail carrier, for Christ's sake. You don't know?
Yeah.
I only know what I need to know.
That's true.
Okay. Which type of dogs are dangerous?
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
They all are.
They all are.
So we have an unofficial game going this season, Jared. Spot that plant. Which letters are real and which aren't? Do you think this is a real letter?
I don't know,
If you had
man.
to
I think
guess.
this is straight from Missouri, man. I believe it.
I don't know. I don't know if someone from Missouri would love a thinking man's barbarian.
Would they say Viva la Wolf?
They would not say Viva la Wolf. That is the giveaway right there. So I say I'm hitting the buzzer plant.
I was kind of with it until it's like the thinking man's barbarian, and then it's like, don't get me wrong, I love the action too. Like that, like it's got everything. There's nothing negative to say. Like so, I'm saying plant also. Jared.
Yep.
And so are they saying don't blow it because they're like we gotta hype ourselves up and okay, guys, we're all right. Don't blow it, guys. We
Like
got
they're
this.
saying everything you've released has been perfect so far.
It's perfection.
But if they're writing it themselves, it's a note to themselves, or they're reassuring themselves, we got this, guys.
That was supposed to be a note in the margins. It wasn't supposed to make it.
Right.
That's true.
On a Post-it, they handed it around to each other at the office.
That was the inner office memo. Don't blow it.
Yeah, it's a plant.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So we're at 3 for there. I'll now that I'm looking at it again, you're new. You're on top.
You're on top.
Nothing suggested that they barely even had sales figures and they had terrible distribution. Somebody had to drive 400 miles to find an issue number 1 of something, so they're not on top.
No, they're not on top.
But maybe they're just on top of Rudy's.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
Jared, do you want to read the next one?
Okay.
Here you go.
Dear Rovan, Goodman, and Hama, boy, do you guys know how to cash in? Another barbarian? Why? When Conan the Barbarian took fandom by surprise a few years back, that was news. That was something to wowee about. But now barbarians are old hat. It's like all those spy guys copying James Bond immediately after Goldfinger's success. There's only one Bond and only one Conan. Face it, the king of the Barbarian Mountain is Conan. One thing, though, that I give Hama credit for, he has succeeded in creating the first sissy barbarian. Who ever heard of a blonde barbarian? Robert Greene from San Fran, California.
Sissy Barber. Whoa. Hey. Oh.
Now, come on,
cried,
Robert. You
Jacob.
live in San Francisco.
He
You
cried
got a problem
twice.
with sissies?
Yeah. Come on, man.
I think you're living in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think this is real? I think this is real.
I think this is real.
I think it's real too.
This is pure incel. Yeah.
Blonde barbarian. I've never heard somebody say that. That's a
It's
okay.
weird. No, Robert Greene, he has some problems. He has some internal problems that he's trying to take out on a comic book company. But, good on him. Real. I vote real.
I vote real. It's interesting that he is saying that like barbarians are now old and overplayed, but Conan's great.
And Bond's not old and overplayed, right?
74, 75. Yeah. Connery was done by 75, wasn't he? Are we at Roger Moore by 75?
No, he was 80s, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
I don't-
Moore was late 70s, 80s.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. 77, 78, like Moonraker, like that around that time. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when did Conan first start? 70? 71? The comic?
Yeah. Early
Okay.
70s.
That's a lifetime to this guy, to Robert Greene, I guess.
4 years is too much barbarian for this guy.
Okay.
Played out.
Get out of here,
predict
Robert.
that there will be no Barbarian comics by 1982.
All right. Do I get to read mine now?
You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, shit. Okay. Dear Atlas, hey, are you really the guys who started Marvel? Whether you are or not, good luck to you. I think if you keep the quality at the same level as issue 1, you will be in business a long time. Of the comics I've read so far, Wulf is my favorite. It's about time someone did a barbarian from the real North Country. Those Vikings were real rough dudes, and I'm sure Wulf and the gang, as the Vikings' ancestor, were even tougher. Jesse Peterson, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Slug it out, Mrs. Green and Peterson. It's obviously the note from, I don't know, it's probably Rovan still.
This is from issue 3. Lieber was editing.
Oh, no,
by
it's
this point.
Lieber. Yeah, it's Lieber. Okay, you want me to read the thing on the side too?
Yes.
Okay. So it says, this is probably from Lieber. Yeah. A perfect example of different strokes for different folks. That's why Howard Johnson's got 38 flavors.
Oh, man.
Jeez. And yes, our publisher, Martin Goodman, did start Marvel back in 1961. Okay. He was actually publishing comics since 1939 under assorted logos. Timely in the 40s, Atlas in the 50s, Marvel in the 60s, and now Atlas again in the 70s. The man knows what he's doing. So good on you, Larry. But yeah, Jesse Peterson, God, I'm torn on this one.
On the reality?
I feel Plant, but I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like if it were internal or in-house, they would have realized that all the copy and promotion for this said this was another world far away from our own, beyond our imagining, blah, blah, blah. Not Vikings, not Northern Europe. So
It's true.
I think it's real.
Okay. All right. You convinced me. Real.
Yeah, this one's real.
Like Karnov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I say.
It's the power of the Fez is telling me this one is real.
Okay. So,
Got a spine glass. Right here is a gem for Mordak.
All right. So the rest of the story. This went on for a full 4 issues, which is a very rare occurrence for Atlas Seaboard. So we had interesting stuff through I'm assuming you guys read the other issues. We can briefly talk about them, but Jared's going to talk in a minute about what he's doing on Swords and Scrolls to honor the remainder of this run here and what we talked about tonight. But I did want to note that issue 2 kind of sadly became a jam issue because I forgot, was it family? Was it death in the family? Larry Hama's mom was dying.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
She was ill. She was dying as this issue was being created.
Okay. So people stepped in to help him. He penciled it, but I mean,
Krusty Bunkers.
Thanks to the Krusty Bunkers came in to help finish it because Larry had a family emergency. So Neil Adams, Ralph Reese, Ed Pace, Davis, Wally Wood, Bob McLeod, Pat Broderick, Vincent Alcazar, Paul Kirshner, and Jack Abel. So everybody pulled together and helped finish this thing for Larry because he had to attend to a family emergency as his mom was passing away. And if you've read the comic book artist number 16, there's definitely some bad blood with Jeff and Martin Goodman about this. And Larry was too nice to say it, but I think he probably was not happy about it either. Martin didn't seem to give a shit and just kept saying, "Where's Wolf number 2? Where's Wolf number 2?" And Jeff was like, "Dude, Larry's mom is dying." And he's like, "Yeah, but where's the issue?" So, doesn't paint Martin Goodman in a very good light. Paints the Krusty Bunkers in a great light that these guys all chipped in and helped their friend be with his mom while she was dying and finish the issue for him. I didn't think the issue suffered. I mean, it's definitely got kind of a schizophrenic quality to it, from panel to panel, different look and feel, but story-wise, to me, I loved issue 1. Issue 1 was perfect, like an archetypal origin story, whatever. If Hama had continued writing this based on issue 2, this would have been probably one of my favorite sword and sorcery books. The storytelling, this felt very Conan. Like he encounters this group of people and all these different, like the art here and this idea of like this sorcerer who is kind of out of his depth and he goes mad. And so you see this crazy world is created with magic. And I don't know. I thought this story was amazing.
Yeah, I really liked it too. And you're right. I mean, there is kind of it is a little all over the place for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, from Roven's interview and everything, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was Martin Goodman who was being the total asshole because he was a total asshole. But also it just showed Larry's character because, yeah, he could have rightly so just been like, yeah, Martin and Jeff, they were kind of real dicks. And that's why I had to bring in all my friends because my bosses at the time were just like, yeah, we don't really give a shit. So we need that issue like next week. So fucking figure it out. So obviously, they're the dicks in this situation. But yeah, issue 2 is a solid issue. I mean, issue 1, like you said, it's perfect. It's a perfect issue of comics. So yeah, issue 2, maybe if Larry had time and if he had full control over it, it would have been a little stronger than it is, but I still think it's an excellent second issue.
I loved it as far as like as an indicator of where the series was going to go, like the quality of a one and done story. Like this is like, I put up there with any Conan story around this time, personally.
My thing with the Wulf series and comparing it to the other Atlas history of the books, where the original writer stops writing it and somebody else takes it over. With every other title, I've been like, okay, whatever. But with Wulf, after the 2 Hama issues, I was like, oh crap. If he just could have kept with the book, if the next 2 issues would have been written by him, even if he couldn't like do both, or if he couldn't draw and write it, there was such promise, and coming into this, I wanted to like Wulf, thought I wouldn't necessarily, and then now I'm just like, wow, Wulf is great book, and it's a shame that he, had to take his leave of the book, and not that the remainder of it is bad. I find things I like about all of it, but I tell you what, man, if he would ever decide one day, man, I think I'm gonna do another Wulf story and just do like a one shot or something. Holy crap, man. I bet you he could rock something out. Because I read he wrote 3 issues of Conan the Barbarian, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't write more than that. And they're real sporadic. He did like fill-in like issues that like are not part of like a storyline. They're just like a story. And one of them is even like a poem that is illustrated. And so they're not maybe stellar stories or issues, but if to see him maybe come back to something like Wulf and maybe really deliver a story that he was planning on doing at the time or something, man, I think it'd be amazing. Something he should do.
Yeah,
I'll use my fez to send the power out.
I mean, I just feel like he had the perfect origin story with issue 1, and for me, issue 2 was like a perfect one and done. Like just drop Conan, drop Jonah Hex, drop whoever into this situation with these rich, coolly developed people. Add some more demons, add some more whatever, and it's just like, I mean, this art on top of it, like all the things, this confluence of those elements together, to me was like, holy shit! Like if he had somehow found a way to like Mignola it and be like, I can't draw every issue of Hellboy and BPRD, but I can write everything. I can steer the ship. I think this could have gone and been awesome for several years.
He could contribute covers or pinups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought the second story was badass about this drought.
Sure.
And I thought it was fucking awesome. Then we move on to the 3rd issue. That's where Hama's off the book. Is it Skeets or Skates? Do we know how do you pronounce that?
I thought it was Skeets.
I think it's Skeets. I don't know, it's like Keats and Yates, whatever, which one it is. Yeah. And then Leo Summer, I think we last saw on Throwing Adventure Stories number 2, doing that cool jungle story. Interesting pairing here. I thought there were some interesting highs and lows. I didn't love the story. I thought the story was kind of weird, but Summers in this, like from panel to panel, like, ooh, this is a terrible pairing. Oh my God, this is cool. Like, it felt like sometimes underground weird comics, like stoner or some weird kind of stoner thing you buy in a head shop. But then at the bottom right here, you see this woman like with the finery on, and it looks like fine art, and it just feels like it's kind of all over like that. Like there's rat men, and there's these slaves toiling here in this right panel in this foundry, where it almost gets like to Graham Ingles level of like gross weird detail. A very strange pairing for me.
Yeah,
which
was
I think
tough.
Worked sometimes.
It was all over the place. Both these last issues were really all over the place. So,
and then issue 4 is when we get not Gary Friedrich, but Mike Friedrich steps in, and Jim Craig lends art duties along with the Atlas bullpen. I don't even know what that means.
What does that even mean, right?
And this story, I felt like the art was super inconsistent in this one, like from panel to panel. Like, I thought the splash page was pretty interesting. And then you get over to some details here on the right, and it's just kind of like dodgy as fuck. But I did like that Mike introduced horror and more kind of a monster story here. There's a weird shape-shifting vampire thing going on. Not the strongest thing, and I did appreciate that he kept the story moving forward. He introduced a new element into the mythos of how to take down the villain, a tool that is needed to aid that. So the the wheels are falling off Atlas at this point, but they were still kind of driving forward. Like maybe this could keep going, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Although it does say next issue, which didn't happen, return to Castle Silverkeep, and don't miss Wulf in this month's Barbarians mag. And I don't know if that's referring to Barbarians issue 1 or the never made it number 2, but he's not in number 1.
No, he's not.
That's an Ironjaw story and an Anthro story. I think Anthro or something like that. Something like that. I forgot to do his name.
Yeah.
We'll meet him later this season. But yeah, so they were feeling like confident about the Barbarian stuff, and those went the longest. Not many number 4s in this
no, not a lot.
venture. So yeah, I guess final thoughts. Well, actually, Jared, let's talk about what you're doing on your show to kind of complement what we talked about here tonight.
Okay, so I'm doing a series that I'm calling Battle of the Barbarians, where if Atlas was, putting out books to battle Marvel's books, I figured let's do the 2 Barbarians. So the issue of Conan that comes out on stands same month as the issues of Wulf. So on my show, I will be talking about both issues, the issue of Conan and the issue of Wulf, kind of comparing the stories and art and stuff like that, and then deciding who won that month. Was it Conan? Was it Wulf who delivered the better book? In doing that, I discovered that that series of Conan issues are an adaptation of a sword and sorcery novel called Kothar and the Sorcerer, which is written by Gardner F. Fox. And so I was like, well, then that's 3 Barbarians. It's actually Kothar versus Conan versus Wulf. So I'm comparing all of that in a series of episodes. And there's also like a skip month where Wulf doesn't come out. But it's still a continuation of the Kothar, so I got to fit that in. And then in 2 of the issues of Conan, there's really kick-ass backup stories because the Conan stories were shorter. So I'm going to do that too. It spiraled into this big crazy thing.
So it's a can of worms.
Yeah, and I confused everybody. I confused all my guests, and I misnumbered all my files, and so like everybody's lost. But I love it. It's chaos, but we'll see who rises above it all. And that's where I guess you will get my final thoughts on the Wulf books. But like Larry Hama's Wulf is a solid book and is a solid character, solid world. Yeah, I wouldn't. If you enjoy the genre, it's a good read.
Yeah, is that your final thought? Are we doing final thoughts?
Yeah, man, I've babbled enough on this show.
Have you?
I feel I'm just blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
It's the hams and the
fez.
the jacket. I don't know, man. There's something going on. I'm real warm.
Okay, so give me it one more time. Your final thoughts on Wulf the Barbarian. I know you're holding a little bit back for your own thing, selfishly, but we have requirements here on our show.
I understand. I respect it. It's this 200th episode. Listen,
this is Bamco, bitch.
Wulf is great. It's a good book. I liked, for when Larry left the book, it lost something, but it still paid respect to what he said in the first 2 couple issues, with callbacks to his origin and things that had happened in the past that you would have known by being a reader of the book. Wulf ranks up pretty high in the Atlas ranking for me, but I don't know if it could take down Thrilling Adventure Stories. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably not.
Was that so hard?
Maybe they're different because you got a magazine and comics, but it's probably the top of the comics. This and Lomax got to go to. Hey, which is really funny because when they tried to bring Atlas back, they did a crossover, and Wulf and Lomax are crossover in the same book together. It's ridiculous.
I don't know if I saw that. I know that there was an Atlas like 4-issue like thing where they tried to pull all the worlds together.
Yeah, like it's Steve Niles too, isn't it?
I don't think so. I mean, the stuff I saw was hideous.
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know who wrote it.
I've got one issue over there. But
But
I just picked it up for curiosity's sake to see kind of what they were doing. But yeah, like Wolf's world and the real world kind of cross
our world,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of cross over, and like, so Wulf comes to Earth and Lomax goes back with him to his world. And
so when researching Vicky stuff, I saw that she had an appearance in Atlas United or whatever it's called. And yeah,
Really?
she appears to be like the harbinger of like,
Oh,
she's
come
like the linchpin of all the worlds, and they pulled her in, and there's supposed to be a next issue, and it never happened. I was like, oh my God, you made Vicky like the center, the connective tissue of all the multiverse.
It would have been awesome if she would have been just the way she is in the comic. You know what I mean? Like if she would, they didn't make it like some serious thing, and she was just
Right.
kind of like, hey, I'm going shopping. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
She
unwillingly
came
causing all
in,
that.
she's a sassy teen. She was just modernized and drawn a little more modern art style, but yeah. Anyway, Jacob?
Well, now I got to read these this Atlas crossover revisited books, or maybe I don't.
We should do that as a capstone, actually, one episode talking about Atlas
I knew
United.
it. Yeah, okay. All right, that's fair.
Doesn't have to be long. Doesn't have to be like page by page. Just kind of a.
I mean, I'm curious. You're making me a completist about this shit, so
Yeah.
now I have
no.
to know it. But
Oh
yeah.
no.
It's official,
But,
folks. You heard it here first.
Okay. extra. Okay, so my thoughts on Wulf. I know this is a lot. It's a lot for me to say. Jared, you're an expert on the swords and the scrolls and all of these books. Like you are the true expert. Matt, I know that you dabbled and now you're all in on the Barbarian books. I've never been all in. I don't mind them. I like them. And I'll read some from time to time. I always like it. I connected with this issue of Wulf more than I've connected with any other Barbarian, sword and sorcery, anything. I connected with this more than anything. This made me very excited. I don't know about for the genre. I mean, the genre is great, and I love it, and I respect it. But I've never been so invested in an issue of this genre before. I'd never read anything like this, and so I guess I loved this issue so much because, like I was saying earlier, it made me feel like a kid again. It was taking a genre that I knew something about, but it was taking it and it was looking at it from a completely different lens in a way that really just blew me away. I mean, Wulf has become it's one of my favorite books we've talked about. I'm not giving away my rankings, Matt, don't worry.
Okay.
But I think I can say, without giving anything away, that Wulf is one of my favorite books we've read this whole season. I never expected that. I thought this was going to be a throwaway, like Conan ripoff, but it was not. It was deeper than that. It was super well done. Hama's a true artist, is a genius. And after reading this issue, I just I'm all in. I'm all in on Wulf. So no, I absolutely loved it.
Love that. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect based on the cover. I was expecting a Conan clone, just based on the Atlas Seaboard as a venture. And we got something quite the opposite, rich, nuanced. And I'm not saying that Conan isn't rich and nuanced, but I'm saying that clones of Conan often are pretty cheap and flimsy. Can be. So the fact that this was so against type and has such a big heart, and Hama's such a, he said it, we're going to say it a lot, masterful storyteller, both in prose and in his art, absolutely floored me. I think the first two issues were note perfect. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing, even though friends came in and helped Larry out of a bind. And the art was inconsistent. It was all good. It was inconsistently good through the entire second issue. Third and fourth issues, I was still entertained, a little over the place. Felt like it still had a spine. It was still had a direction. It was still going somewhere. So I would have been happy for this to go on for another year or two, and I would have kept buying it. Even when it was kind of foundering or didn't feel like a good pairing between the artist and storyteller or whatever, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, the first two issues are unimpeachable. Are perfect in my opinion, and I wouldn't change a thing. So yeah, I'm not going to reveal my rankings either, but this is definitely in very high esteem for me so far this season. So if you folks are not aware, we rank these things at the end of the season, and we're going to say who our top to our bottom are of what we talked about of Atlas Seaboard. And so we're going to send out ballots, and you guys can vote on stuff as well. We'll give away prizes at the finale of the season. So, but yeah, we'll be revealing ours. And if you actually guess our rankings, either one of ours, then you win a prize from us. So we'll do more about that as the season goes on. But yeah, so what a pleasant surprise. I'm not super surprised. This is held in pretty high esteem of the output of Atlas Seaboard, so I'm not shocked it was good. It's mentioned a lot with the Scorpion and Grim Ghost as being kind of one of the better of the things. But wow. Yeah. Like you said, I was eagerly turning pages. I felt like a little kid again the first time I read through this. I was happy to read it a second time for taking notes, and the third time I was finding new things. So, and I found new things while talking to you guys about it. So what a great piece of art that can happen.
Yeah.
And this was meant to be thrown out by moms 3 months after it came out.
And it
Crazy.
was.
Yeah, it was. All right, Jared. Do you need to tell us any more about Swords and Scrolls? Like, so which episode am I doing? I'm pitching in on this Battle of the Barbarians.
Yeah, you're going to come and talk about the book that went up against Wolf #1, actually.
Okay.
So by the time this episode is out, probably the first episode in the Battle of the Barbarians should be out. And then the next one would be the one that you would be on.
Okay.
And then so on and so on. So I will probably interrupt the battle to do a little bit of spooky October stuff, but it'll come right back around. So yeah, man. But people can go to goodpencil.com/podcasts and find all my episodes there. And you can follow me on Instagram at Swords and Scrolls Pod, and I post crap there. So that's where you can find me and can yell at me and stuff like that.
There's also links in the show notes and the description of this episode.
Oh boy, links.
Yep. Yes, links. Kids love them.
Kids
can't get enough of them. All right, so next up on the show, we have a mutual friend, Jared, is going to be on, Mr. Jason Farrell of the Douglas and Dragons podcast, and he was my former co-host on the Bookhouse Boys, a book podcast that I used to do many moons ago. And we're going to be talking about Target, which I can only imagine is some type of reference to Bullet, or I'm not sure. We've already kind of had our Dirty Harry ripoff. I think this is more of that. I don't know. I can't wait to see what it is. But it's written by Rick Myers, and it's got pencils and inks by Howard Nostrand. I'm hoping Jacob does a little bit of a dive on him. I dug around a bit about him, and he has kind of a reputation as being a swiper, but I feel like he's been reevaluated in recent times and been kind of salvaged. He's like the Monkees.
Yeah.
At the time, people said he was a hack, and now they're like, oh, actually, he was actually pretty talented. He synthesized. He didn't just steal. So I'm hoping you do a little bit of a dive on Nostrand, because I don't know a ton about him. Awesome. And I love that Duffy got top billing here on this little box as the letterer.
I mean, awesome.
I guess because he was the letterer, so he put himself
he
first.
wrote it. He's like, shit, I'm going first.
Duffy, Rovin, Myers, and Nostrand. Yeah, what a weird lineup.
It's literally like the reverse order of the credits.
Yeah.
The letterer, the editor, the writer, and the artist. Okay.
Mm.
Anyway, Jacob, you're going to be in town when this happens, and Jason Farrell lives in this town. I don't know if we're going to do them all in one location. It might actually be more work for me than it would be just us being in separate houses calling each other from Portland. I'll figure that out.
Okay.
But first, if you choose to back us on Patreon and become a member that gets the Shadow Show, we're doing part 2 of our review of Hellrider #1. The first time, as I mentioned earlier, we talked about Hellrider the character, and they alluded to this character, the Butterfly. And now we get to meet her and go to Vegas, or Reno, I forgot which one it was, and check out Las Vegas, her whole thing. So it's cool to see an African American and a female superhero. Again, I wish this would have lasted longer. It's a cool concept. A pop star who becomes a superhero, which maybe Dazzler borrowed. I don't know if that got nicked by Marvel a few years later. But it's exciting stuff. If you don't know, we're on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. We'd love for you to give us a follow there. We'll follow you back. We'd love to hear from you. And if you do want to check out the Shadow Show, which is, again, 122 episodes strong once that Butterfly episode comes out, we can go to patreon.com, Bronze Age Monsters, and back the show, and get access to all the archives, all the previous episodes, all that jazz. It's all there for you, plus additional stuff that's just special things we make for our members. And if you are watching this video on YouTube, we'd love for you to leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of this, and give a like and a subscribe, and share it with a friend. It really does help out the show. Jared, so good to have you on, brother.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I feel honored to be on the 200th episode. You guys, I really want to say thanks for everything you've done for all the 200 shows. And man, you guys turned me on to a lot of stuff that I never would have read until I was forced into it by you guys. So thanks. Thanks for all that.
We've said many times that makes us feel fulfilled. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, folks, there are links to Jared's show, so go check out Swords and Scrolls. It's a great show, and not just because we've been on there. It's a good show in general. Cool. Well, we'll be back with Target with Jason Farrell in a couple of weeks. Thanks everybody for following along, and as we say at the end of every episode, we say, stay bronze, bunny boy. Stay bronze.